What is going on, everyone? What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Cylon Johns and Jills Network. Today we have a very special episode. It's the one that Bubba Husky starred in as Tyrrell, and this episode cannot be forgotten. It was called Flight of the Phoenix, Season 2, Episode 9. I give a slight overview. Tyrrell has a new pet project. Rosalind gets a diagnosis. A little bit happening with Sharon. Hilo, Tyrrell, love triangle. Then you got some more love triangles. What the hell's going on with D? So we'll get into everything today, and we have a really nice, good feeling ending for once. You know, you actually feel pretty damn good at the end of this episode. Without further ado, I'll introduce my co-host and expert, John St. Baptiste. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on tonight. Uh, this is always something I look forward to. This is a big episode in a small way. It's a quiet episode, but there's some big reveals. One of which is that uh, D has a really nice bone.
Yeah, John, your weird undertones that you use to say these statements sometimes make me feel fuzzy on the inside, to say the least. But no, you're right though. This is a fantastic episode. We got a good chat going tonight. Stay tuned. Somebody's winning a fracking lunchbox, and Bubba Husky got something coming soon. I think you're gonna like it. It smells really good. Uh,
The
first
smell is
off.
amazing.
First off, Amy True, how are you doing tonight? Thank you so much for joining us in from the future in
From the
another
future.
country that,
Yeah,
you know,
it's raining in the future.
shit.
Yeah, never mind. No, it's good. I've shut the curtains. I don't have to look at it now. So I'm all cozy with my wine and my notes. Not quite as copious notes as last week. I've only got 3 pages tonight.
Very nice. And we'll get through Amy's thesis in just a second. Clarissa, how are you doing tonight, my friend?
Great. Thanks for having me again this week. This was a good episode, and it was kind of a happy ending, which is rare.
True. I do want to throw out, our friend Bobby Catalano, shout out in the chat, has some different feelings about Hilo this week. So I definitely want to ask you about that in a few minutes. Shh, just write it down. I see you wanting to talk there. No, but yeah, your man Hilo had some interesting scenes this week. So I definitely want to hear your thoughts on that. Sasa, Mackenzie L. Burns, how in the hell are you doing on this evening? Um, what's up?
I'm doing very well. I just finished an assignment that took me a while to do, but I'm doing good. I'm not in my usual spot, but yeah, I'm doing pretty well. I only watched this episode once, but that's okay because I feel like I can pick up what you're putting down. So
Oh, snap. She's throwing down those millennial phrases. I don't know what she's talking about. I'm too old for that. Sasa's coming to us straight from the mothership of Cocoon right now. So, I don't know if anybody's seen that old ass movie. Let me give a little shout out to people in the chat here. Reese O, how is it going, my friend? And also Julianne89, how are you doing? I hear there's something going on there. Um, I swear there's a person named Einstein. Let's see. Bubba Husky, what's going on, my friend? How are you doing out there tonight? And if I'm going to go ahead and announce this, last week's winner, well, what would you call them, John? Front runners. We have two finalists from last week. Al Red Sox fan and Catherine Harding. So hopefully they show up here and we'll be able to roll for a winner for the first bi-weekly lunchbox giveaway. Also, don't forget to, hit some hashtags in the chat. You never know. Make us laugh. We'll see what happens here.
We're down to 2 horses in this race.
That's right.
And it's the nose to nose. I think we might have to actually go to some props to figure out who wins. But we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. But, just show up, hang out, have a good time with us, and you never know what will happen. Uh, let's say we get off into this episode. Reality seems to be really sinking in. We have a couple of skirmishes in the beginning here, real quick. Racetrack and Kara seem to have a little bit of going on. Also, some contention between Tyrell and Hilo. Then we get Rosalind's diagnosis a little bit after this. So this little clump of scenes we have is very, very big. And this is before the opening credits, if I'm not mistaken, all this happens. So, without further ado, since Amy has all her notes prepared and ready, like she said, I'm going to let her go first because I swear I'm the meanest guy on YouTube. Just ask Bobby Catalana.
You always make me go first. I'm not properly awake yet. What was it?
It's because you're the smart kid in the classroom, Amy.
I'm really not.
Right? Like Johnny's the teacher, I'm the TA, and yeah, you're like the kid who actually takes notes and shits like that. Like Clarissa takes some notes, but not really. Kenzie pays attention and gets it, but doesn't. Bobby just like savants it.
I would have to say that was.
You're that top student who's always sitting there paying attention. You're like, oh, yeah, I gotta get.
That was a little asshole-ish, even for me there. He kind of just dissed the rest of the panel.
No, not at all. I was actually complimenting all of it because I'm the TA. Like, you're the teacher.
Backhanded compliment.
I just show up wasted and,
it's
see
not
if
uncommon.
I can get my way through college.
It's not uncommon for me to have like 4 or 5 pages of notes per episode.
Yeah, Clarissa takes lots of notes as well.
It was a joke. Oh my gosh.
But to be fair, I don't have any today.
Yeah, okay. So there we go. So don't Captain Marvel it.
But I have watched the show.
Oh, I dropped that bomb. Okay. Done.
God damn. Done.
No spoilers. I've completely derailed it before we even got started. So in the flashback bits at the beginning, like on previous episodes, it was talking about the Cylon virus that had infected the ship. So that was very much foreshadowing. And that reminded me that they didn't do anything to get rid of it as such. So I was thinking, oh, maybe it's dormant and it's still there and something's going to reactivate it. And then we have the scene with Hilo trying to join the other pilots. And they were all really mean. So Starbuck was kind of happy to see him, and then he was trying to introduce himself, and the others were just kind of sat there not looking at him and didn't say anything. It's very playground kind of behaviour, very childish. And he took it quite well. He was just kind of like, yeah, just another time, it's fine. But it was really horrible. I mean, he'd been through a lot. Obviously saved Starbuck, and she did stick up for him. But yeah, there was no thanks there. And with that, he's got Chief and the ship. That was really quite strange moment. The way he was like, he's kind of rubbing the ship, and then every time he's stroking the ship, he's thinking about like stroking Sharon, and he was just like, what the hell kind of connection does he have with this ship? I mean,
Bubba Husky says Chief and the space fighter have a sexy pottery scene just like in Ghost.
That is exactly what it was like. I honestly wouldn't have been surprised if he'd started like licking it or something. He was getting far too into that ship. Unless he was maybe kind of associating Boomer with a ship or with a machine, or I don't know. But it was a little more intimate than a man should be getting with with something with an engine.
I just had this image in my head.
If I may interject, I like my car more than all but two women who I've dated in my life.
Oh, I know, but it was just short of like showing a scene with him with Sharon, like nibbling her ear, and then watching her with like the rear view mirror.
Well, exactly. It's like, okay, that's fine that you like your car more. However, I can't imagine you getting any sort of sexual gratification from stroking the bonnet of your car. You know,
Hey,
it's just
there's
it's
YouTube videos. There's people that get off on that. Go check it out.
very,
There's
very
cable
few
television.
Try
people.
it out.
Yeah.
Try it out, yo.
Yeah, like the My Strange Addictions or whatever that show
Yeah,
is.
people who eat couch cushions and stuff.
Or
That's a little bit
laundry
weird.
or laundry detergent.
No. Don't bring that up. We could get in trouble for that.
Oh dear, but yeah, it's Chief of the ship. It was just like, okay, so he's replacing his robot lover with another mechanical thing.
Ooh, good pickup. You want to expand on that? You want to expand on replacing his mechanical lover? Mm.
Well, he does kind of replace her with a ship. Not in that way, the way that we kind of got the impression, but with his new project, which obviously we'll kind of come to later. But yeah, it was just a really, really weird scene. It's just one of those things where I was kind of sitting there giggling to myself, thinking like I should be taking this seriously and paying attention, but I just can't with the spaceship love. It's just weird. So I had to pause it and have a little giggle. And it went from that to Callie. She's out of the brig. Everyone's having a bit of a party for her, welcome back thing. And when Chief walks in, he's kind of seems a bit out of place and kind of offends Callie, I think, because he says, "Oh, I need all the knuckle draggers I can get," and we've only really heard that term used in a derogatory sense towards the engineers. So for him to sort of use it like with one of his own team is a bit. He must know the connotations that that has. I think he's probably not seen her since she shot Boomer, if she's been in the brig, and perhaps it's a bit raw for him, especially if he's just been thinking about her.
Well, yeah, I guess to him, she killed the woman he loved, and
Yeah.
I don't know that. Yeah, that's a tough thing. Yeah, I can definitely speculate on that.
So then you've got Chief and Hilo being outcasts, drinking together. I can stop waffling now and let someone else talk, though. I'll have done the whole bloody show at this rate.
No, it's all good. No waffles. I'll throw some syrup out there for you. Keep it going, Clarissa. We kind of have Tyrrell
Still
tripping
pining over
here.
Sharon. Yeah.
Yeah, brings it to Hilo's attention too.
Oh, absolutely. And of course Hilo had just left the gambling, the card game. So he's like, you can tell just by the look of this in his face, as soon as Tyrrell starts talking, he's just like, oh crap, what now? It's like I can't get away from this. And yeah, everybody's frustrated at where they are right now because there's no relief. I think that's sort of like an underlying, like that's where this story is taken, right? It's come to the point where everybody's routine has just become so monotonous and so, well, yeah, monotonous. I mean, unvarying. And people don't have anything to strive for. They're feeling lost. So I
Yeah.
think you see a lot in Tyrrell and Hilo both in that scene.
I think Racetrack puts it best when she's like, "I just want it to end."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
During the card
Absolutely.
game, like
It's
And
it's more Manitobaness, you know.
but it's not but it's not just the one, it's not just her, right? Like, it's not just her that's fed up, it's everybody getting fed up. It's how Gata has the outburst at command, and it's just people are losing patience with one another all over the place, you can see. And so I think that for Tyrell, and to a certain extent Hilo, this fist fight was sort of that all coming to a head and giving them an opportunity to at least just act, just to do something. And yeah, I felt for them both. And I'm really glad that the chief dropped the wrench at the end of the fight.
Yeah, that could have got bad. That reminds me of a fight that my dad told me got in with my uncle, where my uncle had a rock over his head like that and could have killed him. Oh, it's crazy. That brought back some memories.
Whoa.
But to that, Hilo's reception at the poker game, Kara's willingness to stand up for him. Sasa, you want to throw some thoughts in on that since you've I'm not balking on you because you've been quiet. I'm just bringing you into the fold.
The whole Hilo and Tyrell fight thing, or
right before that, the card game where he gets that cold reception from everyone, and
the fact that they're all kind of dogging on him, the fact that he's fallen in love with the machine. Kind of like people probably, if it happened to us, like that whole thing probably wouldn't have, people would react the same way. It's like, really, you've just now like start to love this like thing that's not real, which of course would cause some bullying because people obviously don't understand the relationship dynamic that Hilo and Sharon have and what it means. And yeah, Starbucks standing up for one of her BFFs, and also kind of giving her first-hand experience with Sharon and being like, yeah, she may be a bad person, but she saved me, or else where would you all be without me, kind of thing.
That's a good point. I want to stop real quick. Ding, 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 ding. One of the finalists for the Lunchbox Fart #2 in a can. Finalists is here. Al Red Sox fan, you are one of the 2 finalists for the #Toot in a Tin Man. So stay tuned for the roll. We'll see if Catherine Harding makes it, and we're not going to throw her out if she doesn't make it because life happens. But stay tuned for the roll. See if you win. Everybody can't make it all the time. I'm sure she'll be back though. Go ahead, Sasa.
And then also too, because we don't really get to see the I guess you could say poker cards too much. So it's funny that they're like a hexagon, I guess you could say. And the fact that they're not like the traditional like black and red, but they're like 3 or 4 different colors, which is interesting. Take a shot.
We don't say it that much anymore, so
I think that's based on tarot cards. 4 different suits.
No, like the colors.
Playing cards are based on tarot cards.
I thought it was on Uno. My bad. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Playing cards are based on tarot cards, and there are 4 different suits, but they're represented red and black. But I think that the 4 different colors, the green, red, blue, yellow, is representative of that, because they even always talk about trump cards and things like that. Sorry, I'm being a new age now.
No, you're make a point. I've seen people give tarot cards readings with just a regular deck of cards and not even tarot cards. So you make a good point there.
Yeah. And
interesting fact.
Eventually, it's like when they were doing the scene. I can't remember her name, but she's like, "Yeah, I've already read all the deck, so I understand what kind of cards you have," which is kind of a funny thing, talking about like reading cards and all of that. So, yeah, it's not much to say about it, but yeah, it's it's cool defending her friend and defending Sharon, even though Sharon's kind of a pseudo friend at this point. It's like a friend of a friend or a girlfriend of a friend.
Yeah, it's a real complicated situation, to say the least. I want to give you a double thank you for hanging in there and being a tough Cylon and being on the panel with us tonight.
It's a,
And
Did
Bobby,
anybody else get
that's
zero
not a
joy
shot
when
against you.
Sharon slammed Racetrack's face into the table? Like, I kind of enjoyed that. Did anybody else get that, or was
the
that just
what?
when Racetrack like sassed off to Starbuck, and Starbuck just like grabbed her head and smacked her face into the table?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I
I wanted
liked
to see
it.
the rest of the fight.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what I want.
'Cause-
I wish I had the thing right now, but yeah.
Don't be filthy, Johnny. Talking about girly cat fights. I wanted to see the rest of the fight because I think Racetrack would she wouldn't have just taken it. She would have fought back. I think Starbuck would have put her on her ass completely eventually, but I think that would have been a proper fight, not a girl fight, like a proper.
Every time they punched each other, you would have heard this.
Punchy, punchy.
No, it would have been a proper fight, not like a girl fight. No hair pulling and scratching.
Oh,
It'd be full on throwing punches at each other.
Yeah. Well, the head slam against the table, so.
Exactly. It's far more fun than Hilo and Chief just kind of shoving each other.
Yeah, fucking Tyrrell, this is what he sounded like. When he had that wrench.
But did anybody else think for at least a second that Chief was gonna hit Hilo with that fucking spanner? Like,
For like
I
a
remember the
second.
first time I watched it, I was like, "Oh my gosh, dude!"
I kind of
It
thought
reminds
that
me
it
of
might have.
what's the movie? 2001.
Oh, Space Odyssey.
Yeah, the femur with the like the scene where the caveman has the femur and like
Will
kills
Robinson,
the caveman with it. Like,
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Is it older, future Will Robinson or young Will Robinson? I can't remember now.
no, it was like the very beginning of the movie, and the caveman has the femur, which is so like Stanley Kubrick has to have 9 layers of representation in every scene because that's what Stanley Kubrick does. But he's about to crush this dude's skull in with it, and like when I saw Chief with that spanner, I was like, "Is he gonna kill Hilo?"
Cool story, bro.
I'm such an asshole.
Like, oh my god, are those forearms gonna go out forever?
And I didn't think he would probably knock him out to kill him, but I feel like there would have done a thing of like a cut, like a massive cut on probably its face, so they would have to deal with that. Because later when Tyrrell's trying to make the ship, Apollo comes up to him, and you do see that there's a bruise on Tyrrell's face. So I wouldn't have been surprised if at least one of them got cut with the wrench.
If Tyrrell would accidentally dropped that on his head, it could have possibly killed him. But I agree with you. They probably would have played it off like that. Except this show, they tend to try to keep it somewhat real, but yeah, that was a serious, intense moment.
Hilo's steel forearms would have protected him.
Yeah, the bionic forearm.
As Bubba says, forearms McGee.
It's kind of a sequence where almost because essentially Hilo and Tyrrell is like a set of identical twins, and Tyrrell's twin just happened to die. So now it's just like, well, what you gonna do? Like, what am I gonna do? Like about it? and what you're gonna do about it. Because there was the whole taunting of, well, it could have been my baby if you weren't in the picture, which would have been strange. But then I guess it proves that Sharon that was with Gila was the more fertile, I guess. Because who knows if the other one
Oh
Maybe-
yeah,
like that.
that line that Tiro delivers, that's a hard stab to the gut.
Yeah.
No, but
If it weren't for you, that little freak would have been mine. Like, that's a hard stab to the gut. It's like you're
Yeah.
talking about this dude's kid, whether it's his robot kid or whatever. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's a really hard stab to the gut.
We don't like your kind of nanolons around here. That's what Tyrell's thinking.
Also,
Right,
too.
I'm going to shut up for a minute because I keep interjecting. But my one question I do have to ask before I do that is: are Sharon and Boomer the same person?
we talked about this last week, didn't we?
I think so.
Yeah, we talk about it every week. But
Hold on, John. Say that again. What was the question?
Are Sharon and Boomer the same person?
Yes. They just go by different names.
Ish.
Yeah, they just go by like a nickname. It's like
Hilo for Armingston the Third Esquire, like that.
it's funny.
I think we
it's
did
like-
touch on that.
We touch on it all the time, I think.
Yeah, but even
That's what she
Rosalind
said.
touches on it later on in the episode when Rosalind and Adama are talking. She says, like, are they the same person? I think they are to a point, but it's like all the copies would be kind of the same, but then their experiences change them, maybe.
Yeah, like they're
So
slightly different.
yeah, like their overall kind of base, but like base personality would be like a specific type, but then the experiences that they have would shape how they are as people / Cylons.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, to any Trekkies out there, it's like the Will Riker, Tom Riker thing. Because if anybody has seen that episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, basically they returned to a space station that Will had been at when he was a lieutenant. And
Will we
there was a transporter accident, so one Will Riker was transported back to the ship and one Will Riker was left behind. So they come back to this abandoned space station to find that this other Will Riker had been living there all those years. And so he was the same guy, but he wasn't the same guy. And oh, the triangle with Deanna Troi. Anyway, that's the way I see the Cylons from one to another. That they're the same up to a point, but at some point they split off and they became their own people.
Mm-hmm.
True. You know, and that
So are you
that
saying
triangle. You know.
Well, there is a love. There technically kind of is a love triangle between, even though it's not obviously leaning one way more than the other, between Hilo, Tyrell, and Sharon, in a sense, because of the end of at the end of the episode, Tyrell goes and talks to Sharon. So,
are you saying up to a point chronologically, Clarissa?
I mean, in the Star Trek example, yes, there was a certain time at which point that happened. But in regards to the Cylons, I think that there's a certain degree that is programming. And then from that point on, the rest of them are, like the rest of their lives are more dictated by experience and choices.
Okay.
yeah.
They do
And then-
share some memories as well, though, don't they? Because Hilo actually asks Sharon if she remembers being like with Chief, and she does. So they've kind of got some of the other copies experiences
download?
and memories as well that's been sort of like uploaded if they've kind of downloaded that data, but it's possible that although they're aware of it, that because they know it wasn't them, they can be a little bit detached from it. So they can maybe look at it as, well, that's not how I would have done things, and kind of learn from their mistakes that way as well.
Maybe.
So although she knows it wasn't her, sort of it's still a memory of someone else to her. Like, it doesn't feel like it's her own memory. If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
yeah.
could be like that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Get into a little more of that. We'll kind of go back to what we have as the logic bomb as well, and all the events that lead up to that, including Apollo and Kara and Hot Dog, basically almost dying, but getting high on nitrous first. And yeah, I'll stop there and let y'all go. Clarissa, you take this one away, and then
All right. So we're at the.
going back to basically where Tyrrell's trying to use
Make the
what do you
ship.
call it? Yeah,
Where
he's
he.
trying to use what do you call it when you tell someone the opposite of what you want them to do?
It's called reverse
There we
psychology.
go. Why can't I think of the word tonight? But yeah, he's doing that, and then we go into
With the
the
crew.
malfunction start, and you can even talk a little bit about Gata's crazy ass at this point, even seeing him break.
Well, I like how Tyrell is inspired by his discussion with Apollo when Apollo's on the flight deck and is like, "What do you mean that fighter is out of commission? I need it." He's like, "If it was a horse, I'd shoot it, right? Like, it's done." And loses his patience a bit, and when Apollo says to him, just do your best. I'm not expecting any miracles. And that sort of just, you can see, and he was really good because, like, you can see sort of how after Apollo says that to him, sort of flickers in his mind, sort of like, well, maybe that's the problem, that nobody's expecting any miracles, and then cut to him starting to build the frame of this new fighter. Or is it a fighter or just like a jet? Like, was it fitted with guns? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's a fighter. It's fitted with guns. It's a Viper, but it's situated much differently. Like they bring up later,
The cockpit stuff and
the cockpit's too far back and so forth. And Starbucks like, hey, it's built for speed. It's not built for
maneuverability.
Right. It's built to be like the fastest fucking thing out there.
So,
and by the way, it kind of has cloak shielding, but
yeah.
we'll get into that in a little bit.
So then he's building the frame. He obviously can't sleep because, that conversation with Apollo just set something off in his mind. So the next we see him laying in his rack thinking about it, and then the next scene is obviously the first thing in the morning when the engineering team is coming on shift and they're walking in and they see that he's already built this frame. And none of them seem too inspired about helping Tyrrell with this project, and that kind of annoys him, obviously. And again, Callie tries to like be okay with Tyrrell, and he dismisses her. So kind of
Yo,
wonder.
Chief, I just shot the love of your life. What's the big fucking deal here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him, really. Like, I can understand that she was angry and stuff, but come on, pull it together, Toots.
Yeah, and it proves that because she came out of the brig, that it's only been a month between the episode before last and last episode. which is not a long time actually. Because we thought probably a couple more months had happened, but it's probably only like 3 weeks, maybe. So, and yeah, Callie, she's a little like hesitant, I guess, but she's trying to make peace because Tyrell technically was one of the people that was responsible for keeping her alive, kind of on Cobalt. No, it was Baltar that ultimately kills whatever his name was. I can't remember now.
The dirty guy, Crash Down.
Crash Down.
Also, go back. We skipped a little bit. Kind of definitely need to talk about Rosalind's diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of weeks to a month left to live. So, sorry about skipping over that a little bit.
With Coddle. Yeah, because she gets the paper and she's like kind of shaky. And obviously he's being Doc Coddle with his not so stone look. And yeah, she has like about a month to live. And you're like, I don't know. They say about a month on the outside or something. So I don't think they would kill her off. I feel like some way magically she'll survive somehow. They'll get some special medicine.
Nanolons will fix that.
Yeah,
whoever thought an STD would save the world?
Who knows?
I just have to tell you guys, they itch a lot.
Or she can contract slow clap, which was a thing that we came up with.
That itches a lot.
Oh my god! The fuck? Hashtag slow clap. Hashtag contract slow clap.
You can contract slow clap. But yeah, she could do something, or they'll get some sort of medicine. Like Sharon can be like, "Oh yeah, there's the thing that might work," because of what happens at the end of the episode. I don't think the show's letting go of Laura Rosalind yet.
Well, what's ironic about slow clap is how fast it actually kills you.
You're gonna have John fall out of his chair, but I don't know. No.
It's okay. Anybody else, just pick up. Clarissa, Amy.
One day, Johnny will probably make me fall out of the ugly green chair. But I think the ugly green chair will fall apart before that happens.
Or
this thing's like almost as old as I am.
John will fall through the chair.
Or the arm of the chair will fall with John.
I'll just be sitting here like, hey guys, what the fuck?
Yeah, you fall backwards or something.
But yeah, rest of Jill's thoughts on Rosalind's diagnosis. How will that affect the rest of the fleet? And then we'll go back to where we were a little bit after Tyrell starts working on his, what would you call it? Ends up being called a Blackbird, which is a nice nod we'll get into later. But yeah, the logic bomb after that as well. But first, yeah, what are the connotations of what's going to happen with Rosalind? Do you believe what Kenzie believes and Rosalind will survive, or do you think she's going to die? And we'll go to Amy because I saw her doing her nails, so she's getting bored. I got to make her do something.
I wasn't getting bored. I've had to do stuff in the warehouse at work this week, and it's like ruined my hands. There's been no point doing them all week. Something I've got to point out, because I said that I would, when Tyrell is making his frame, he's wearing a welding mask and he's not welding, and he's actually only grinding, and he didn't need to wear a welding mask. It was just obviously done for effect, and it was overkill. This is what happens when you're married to an engineer. They pick things like this apart.
Yeah, they got some cool goggles too. He could just wear regular safety glasses, honestly.
Yeah. But no gloves, obviously. He couldn't put gloves on. He went overkill on the face, but didn't care about his hands. Anyway, I digress.
John, do you have a rebuttal?
Supplies are limited.
No, not at all, because you know how I get about like weapon anything in shows. So yeah, someone who picks out things like that, Like I am all props. Okay, yeah, you know about this. You totally got it. Like
I don't give a shit really.
no. But I'm saying like you pick it out.
Yeah.
It doesn't bug me that in Blackwater Bay in freaking Game of Thrones, there are people sitting there for a minute and a half holding arrows knocked. Okay, a human being can't
That would
fucking
hurt.
do that. Well, yeah, actually, it bugs me a lot, but I try not to make too big of a deal about it. So yeah, I totally get it. Yeah, Amy.
Yeah, it was Ben because he did welding when he was at college and he's an engineer by trade. So yeah, he was just like, that's not right. Anyway, the oh, what had I written down? Yeah, it called it an off-duty project. And I kind of got the impression that he'd been up all night doing that as well, like working instead of sleeping.
Would you say that this distraction was something they needed?
Yes, I think so. I think by the end of the episode, he seems a little bit more happy. Not happy, maybe, but satisfied. I think he's used his grief and his upset and his anger and everything and channeled it all into that. And I think it's been like a therapeutic thing for him. And it's been a way for him to kind of vent it all. So he's a bit more in control of his emotions by the end of the episode.
I'm not giving a spoiler here. Stick a pin in that.
Okay. I'll write it down in a minute. And the thing with Cottle, I think that's probably the most serious we've seen Cottle looking because it goes from that straight to the scene with him and Rosalind. When it starts with his face and he does look miserable. I think he's genuinely sad to have had to give that news to Rosalind.
Also, he's the next to go, you know? He's probably the oldest on the fleet. I'm joking. I'm being an asshole.
And Rosalind was so composed in this episode. Like, when she straight away, it's like, how much time do I have? And he says it's weeks, maybe a month at the outside. Obviously, she's really shocked. She kind of steps away, takes a minute to compose herself, and then she's straight away back in, like, can I still work? Because that's what's important to her at the moment. And most people would just completely fall to bits. I mean, she already knows it's terminal anyway, but to actually then essentially have a timeline, like a countdown, most people would just be devastated. They'd completely fall to pieces. And she's just kind of like, she has a little 5 second, oh my God, I'm going to die. And then she's like, right, okay, well, what's next? And you have that in the end of the episode as well, where she almost cries when they've named the ship after her, but then she just composes herself again and says thank you, and it's like, oh, did you show some emotion?
He tries to pull a Tyrrell on the Blackbird, though, right? I just want to throw this out here real quick. Stick John with that pin, and then Julianne says to keep himself from wanking to talk to Jail Boomer at night.
Oh my God, tinfoil theory. Obviously, we saw how intimate he got with the ship earlier. Maybe he's just built himself like a big giant sex toy. Stick a pin in
use
that.
the insides from the Cylon Raider. And like,
he's just built himself his dream woman. Woman / robot thing.
He could have got Baltar to build him some kind of synthetic the JJ. Never mind, I'm getting too weird with this. Anyways, all these hoses and stuff.
Wait, what?
Hooked to, like, Starbuck was like, why are all these weird extra hoses here? You got to stick to orifices. And he's like, no, that's just what we got to do to achieve close to FTL while you're maneuvering. And Starbuck just kind of went with it. But now that you say that, I do think it could be used for other purposes.
It could well be.
I got deep there. But
I've totally just lost my train of thought now
I'm so
because
sorry.
it's just I'm gonna have nightmares about that now. You know what we've missed before? Because the next bit after that was the shooting range, but we haven't talked about when the power surges and the transmission coming from inside the ship.
Yeah, and Dee gets hurt.
Yeah, if someone else wants to waffle about it.
D and Apollo too? What the hell going on?
Yeah, yeah. I guess because Billy is not doing, I guess, his part or be going on more dates with Dee. So, hey,
Would you
sometimes
say that Billy isn't fulfilling her needs? Is that what you're hinting at here?
maybe because if she's like,
Maybe
oh,
Dee's not going on more dates with Billy. Like, she's made it clear a couple of times that she's like,
yeah,
hey, you're working for the president. I work for the commander. And even though, like, mom and dad made happy, like,
yeah,
That and
maybe
Apollo
she's
has the best guns in the fleet, so
fighting words for Clarissa. um,
have you seen any of those guns? Damn you, Johnny.
but yeah, she then it creates like the weird triangle, start of that triangle or square, or probably eventually it'll be like a hexagon or an octagon by the end of this, because
Nine-sided love die.
yeah. But yeah, but before that, they're trying to get correspondence, and then because of the virus, Dee's station kind of just blows up in her face, and she gets knocked over, and they try to figure that out, from what I remember. And then yeah, they have the self defense class where D is used as the example, and then you kind of see the feelings of like, hey, you're cute, hey, you're cute, show up, but then Billy just shows up and she just kind of retracts, I guess, whatever.
Billy with the cock block, huh?
Yeah,
Billy's
whatever.
like a different kind of cute, Clarissa, I'll let you elaborate on that. How is Billy's cute different from Lee's cute?
Billy is like, he's like smart, reliable guy. But the thing is like they're both smart, reliable guys. It's just one is like high school sweetheart cutie, and the other one is like a man.
Yeah, you get like
You're looking like a man.
well, it's like kind of like the freshman versus the senior almost, maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe,
that's a really good comparison. He's like the jock guy on the football team.
and then you
And
got
Billy's like, I'm on the chess team.
yeah, like if Billy would wear like sweater vests, while like Apollo wears like Letterman jackets or whatever. Like,
Welcome all to the Cylon John Softcore Porn channel.
Oh, God.
and yeah, but I guess she kind of still has some sort of feelings for Billy, but obviously it's like fizzling away. But then you have that complicated relationship that he has with Starbuck, so who knows where it's going, unless, like I said, Starbuck and Apollo are just the end game, and they're just playing the ring around with every other person, just to make them the couple that ends up in the end.
That's what makes it awesome when Apollo goes to see the progress that they're making on the fighter, and Starbuck is there, and then D like wheels up from underneath, and he's like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
What are you doing here when I'm flirting with another girl?
But it's weird because they've never like given us like glances or like hints that it could be like a thing. So there's just me with like, oh, let's just plant like a potential like romance that lasts a few episodes here, and then just wait. Maybe. I don't know. The skeptic in me and the endgame theorist in me thinks otherwise, but whatever.
Bubba says all the soft core in both traditional and maple flavors.
You only get maple flavors in, at least for me, it's the middle of the, it's the middle of the panel right here. I'm not sure how everybody else is.
Bob,
But right now I've got Clarissa and Mackenzie in the middle, so.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
I got
fun.
the same thing here.
I have
Bobby's just asking me to say a man in Jessica Rabbit voice. Like,
man.
it's hard, man.
I couldn't
Kathleen
fucking do
Turner
it.
has such a
She-
distinctive voice.
Yeah.
So good. It's been so long since I've
A
been
man.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Because it's low, you know. She's like, a man. Yeah. I don't know. I'd have to sit down and watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Maybe
Again.
we should do that for the first movie in that project, John.
another movie that I haven't seen.
Really? Oh, it's fantastic, Mackenzie. You have to see it.
It's on the list now.
I'm
So-
just
First film that scared me when I was a kid.
The
I'm
crazy
movie inept.
one. The crazy
no, back
one.
on
Oh,
the-
the sakes alive, a man.
Steamroller scene.
Yeah, Steam with the crazy eyes. That
Right.
that absolutely traumatized me as a child.
Back
I
on what
like
Kenzie was
movies.
talking about, like, yeah, you have Amy will get this reference, Bizarre Love Triangle. Or
Every time I think of
Quadrangle,
you, I get a shot right
or
through into
like
my
seriously
face.
hexangle. Like you think about it, like that's real life relationships with other people. At least to me, you watch and you see the way people behave with each other. Like
Mhm.
this person likes this person, and this person likes this person, and this person really doesn't like this person, but they put up with them, and like it. You know, for me, it's part of the brilliance of the show. Is that the human relationships or human Cylon relationships seem real. It's not soap operatic. It's oh my love. No, it's none of
Yeah.
that shit. It's
And then they
like
come back. I'm your brother's cousin, mailman's like, I don't know, like those random.
Does
Right.
thou protest?
right. It's much more real shit. Like I dig you, but I dig you too, and I really
you-
don't know what to do right now.
And,
I'll eat
and you
the
dig
children.
somebody else
So I'm
And
gonna
then-
flex my forearms
and say hi.
and wonder which
Everybody.
hot chick I want to like be with.
I
Yeah.
wonder if part of it though is because there's so few of them left that perhaps they're looking at people in a different way to how they would if there wasn't kind of the pressure of repopulating the human race. It's kind of been mentioned a few times, almost in passing, sort of throughout the series that.
Mhm.
That's going to be something that they'll have to consider. But obviously, what they want to do first is find a planet they can settle on. But it, in the back of their minds, they're probably kind of like, well, you know, this is what there is. You know, this is the limited pool of people you have to choose from, and perhaps they're sort of looking at people in a different way to how they would in their normal kind of everyday lives.
It's
Mhm.
either that or go shopping on the Astro Queen.
No. Yeah, it's like I have this many options of people, and okay, let's see if I'll just throw at the wall and see what sticks, kind of a thing almost.
Oh, but what if too many things stick?
I don't know.
Well, that could be an
Then,
issue.
well, then there's the farm issue, so where it's like multiple people at the same time. Who knows?
Yeah, that's what she said. If we'll get talked a little bit about D and Apollo, right? Think anything's gonna flourish with that? I know we kind of touched on it, but really
For
quick, you
like,
think that's gonna go anywhere?
yeah, for like a couple episodes, or they'll make it like a. Because how many more episodes do we have left in this whole of season 2? Technically,
2.0 ends. Next episode is the last episode of 2.0, and then 2.5 has another 10 episodes.
so we have
Right.
11 more episodes left.
And then we have 3 and 4.
So we have like 11 more. Yeah, so I could
Mhm.
see them doing it like where they maybe go on like a date or something, and then by the end of season 2, it's over. It's like hey, let's hang out, blah blah blah, and then it's like, yeah, I don't know about this, and then either she'll move on to someone else or he'll move on to someone else. Yeah.
Well, Clarissa, Amy, your quick thoughts where you think they'll stay together, and also after that, we'll talk about the aggressive, fucking Depeche Mode. No, I'm just kidding. I had to throw that out there, just because I like saying that. Also, wham, wham. The aggressive target practice and the lack of oxygen here. That was a nice little scene. We get a little more into the virus, and there's talks of bringing in an expert by Adama. So let's get into all of that. We'll go with Clarissa for now. First off, is Apollo and Dee they're gonna get together in the future?
I don't think they would have featured it if that wasn't going to happen. They wouldn't have bothered. I mean, it could just show that everybody's like getting, cozy,
Let's get it
Yeah.
on.
right?
Um.
Bow, 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 bow.
Yeah. What? Oh man, how about that target practice as well? You can go ahead and throw that out there.
So yeah, target practice with them with Apollo and Starbuck and Hot Dog. I thought it was kind of like, wow, everybody's really got a hate on for Sharon right now with her face on the targets and stuff, and like shooting her in the face. Like, dude,
I
that's
think it was just Apollo who.
brutal.
I'm pretty sure it was just Apollo who did that.
It
Still, the
makes
fact
me
that they've
think
got a
of
printer printing it off.
when I'd go to the shooting range and you could get like the Bin Laden or the Saddam Hussein targets at the shooting range. You could probably still get them, but it's kind of the same effect, I guess. It's a good point.
The
I
fact that
used
anybody went
to.
through the trouble of printing up, like printing it up with her face on it, just that alone, the fact that there's a file that you can like, I'm gonna print this one. Yeah.
They're probably hand drawn. I'm joking. Hey, Amy.
They've got like a sketch artist off to the side. He could have been keeping an eye on the oxygen. But
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Go ahead.
when you start seeing, the oxygen needle go down, you're like, oh, the virus is hitting again. And you're wondering, is this is it targeted? Like, was it intentional for it in there? I mean, it's explained later, but the first thing you're all like is like, were they targeted specifically? Were these people supposed to be killed by the Cylons, or was it just like randomly happening? And that's where they happen to be when it happens.
Can I
They're,
throw this at y'all too? Is there a reason that Starbuck stayed conscious longer than everyone else? Seemed to tolerate it more.
well, her lips are starting to turn blue, and
I'm just throwing a wrench in
she
there.
she didn't last any longer than Apollo did.
Well, she was upright and Apollo was on the floor. He did help her aim. I thought it was a really good
Exactly, and
scene.
I mean, Hot Dog's just a wimpo, so that's why he fell first. But it could be anything. She might have been breathing slower. She may have had a slower heart rate.
Well,
Um,
yeah. There's also because
Last
there was that
episode.
heavy like the breathing faster too that I think Apollo did, which is like you lose more oxygen or you use up more oxygen when you're breathing faster.
mhm.
So because she stayed calmer than
Yeah,
Apollo.
if you lose oxygen, you're going to breathe faster. You're going to try and get what you can into your body. It's an impulsive reaction.
Mhm. But she
You don't even
was
really
more.
think about it.
Hot
Yeah,
Dog needs to do some cardio though, because he passed out like within 5 seconds of the oxygen depleting the room. I think there's an underlying health issue there.
well, maybe
Maybe though, he was just really heavily breathing at the thought of shooting Sharon in the face. So that's why it got
Yeah.
him quicker.
But
He was
there's
just far too
or,
excited about it.
or he could be an asthmatic. Secret asthmatic. You never know.
That's true.
It is
Well, no,
true.
if I remember correctly, though, Apollo was the one who had Sharon's face on his target.
He did. He did.
But, I don't believe Hot Dog or Starbuck did.
But also, I mean, Apollo and Starbuck have been in flight training longer. They've probably faced more like training challenges and breathing techniques and things
Mhm.
in their time of, experience and training than Hot Dog would have, because he's a new recruit.
Oh, yeah.
He's a nugget. So,
I mean, they're
Well,
like,
Julianne says he possibly this could mean he has to slow clap.
no, he contracted slow clap.
He can track
yeah,
the slow clap.
they're old foxes. Like,
Yeah, and plus also too, like they're like the best. Him and his comrades were like the best that they could have. Then the ones that survived in the end. So it's like he may not have been the best person to have for that, but based off of like medical
if
history,
you remember correctly, he was a failed
yeah,
officer training.
yeah. So
It
that's
was
probably
because of his
why.
attitude. Starbucks somehow got through,
Yeah,
but Hot Dog's attitude was a little too much. Or maybe it was just because Starbucks is such a fucking badass.
probably.
They were like, okay, well, we'll put up with the fact that you're crazy.
And she might have body slammed someone. You never know.
I want to just say, in my opinion, the reason that Kara was able to last so long is because of how much she works out. She's a workout warrior, as we've seen in the last episode. That's why I think she lasted so long. But you could also read into it, she may be a Cylon. Sure, they are the same, but maybe they'll last a little longer in a situation where most humans die. Yeah, maybe they'll still die.
Lift, drink. Lift, drink.
Mm-hmm. Workout
Like,
routines.
Not good for building muscle, but her stamina would be just fine.
And maybe there's something to not having a shower until like once a month. Maybe that gives you some bionic.
Well, she has a clear coating of like nanolon protection. So,
Oh, yeah.
Amy,
What was your ranking last week? 9.5 stinky Starbucks.
Yeah. 9.5 stinky Starbucks.
that's the new flavor at the Starbucks now.
A
Amy,
grande skinny Starbucks.
A skinny soy Starbuck with sweat on the side or something.
skinny soy tofu Starbucks.
Yeah. Oh, you ruined my
You could do it.
alliteration there. Never mind. I think realistically, the reason that Starbuck and Apollo would have lasted longer is perhaps they're more athletic. They've been pilots for quite a long time. We see them; they both seem to take their sort of fitness quite seriously, and they're obviously a lot more athletic than Hot Dog. I mean, he's kind of just looks really skinny, doesn't he? He's not.
Well,
He's
I
not got
mean,
like
spoiler
a.
alert: Apollo has silicone implants.
Right. Is this in his arms or?
And Hot Dog's
Arms
dad
and
has
pecs.
some big beefy arms. Ask Clarissa. Because she
Yeah.
obsesses over that shit.
He does. Someone has to, because I'll just sit there going, meh. Anyway, so I think it's probably more to do with how athletic they are. Like Clarissa was saying, their resting heart rate and respiration would be lower than someone of like a more average level of fitness, and they've been doing it for a lot longer. And
Mine
obviously
and
it doesn't.
John's resting heart rate is about 142. I think that's good.
So if like, and obviously it doesn't drop like straight away. It kind of goes down slowly. So I mean, Starbuck does seem to be affected actually. Sort of. Well, because she starts laughing, she gets the giggles, which is obviously from the kind of the oxygen deprivation. So she seems to kind of get the giggles, but you can't tell if she's laughing because obviously she's just laughing because something's funny, or if then it starts to. There's no
It's the
defining
nitrous
moment.
oxide in the air, actually.
It's not nitrous oxide.
It's NO2 and
No.
CO2 that's being flooded, and the oxygen got
Oh,
cut off.
yeah, yeah. But if the oxygen's cut off, then you haven't got nitrous oxide. Oxide means there's oxygen.
Well,
It's
either way, it
nitrogen.
showed the two panels on, and the
Yeah,
pure
it's
oxygen was off, and
Johnny just wants
nitrogen,
everybody to be high.
it could
nitrogen
be
and
a
carbon
continuity
dioxide.
error, but there were the CO. It's weird because the CO2 and the NO2 were on, but the
It's not
oxygen.
NO2.
It
NO2 is
well,
nitrous oxide.
well, it could be. I know it could
This is my
be either
chemistry
just
A level
straight up
coming through.
nitrous. I have to look at it. It could be because it's a mixture of the three that makes the breathing air. It's
Yeah, it is.
nitrogen. High.
So
Is
the
it
oxygen's gone, but there's still the
Chemistry
nitrogen.
battle, go!
Nitrogen and carbon dioxide together is what they use to carbonate beer. When they brew beer, that's what
giggle
they use.
bubbles?
That's the gas they use to make it fizzy. Um, but yeah, obviously there's no actual oxygen in it. Nitrous oxide is nitrogen and oxygen, and no carbon dioxide.
We know
But
what I mean. The
yeah, I
dentist
know what you
effect.
meant. But yeah, it's the oxygen deprivation that's making Starbuck giggle rather than laughing gas, because it's not laughing gas. But you can't say there's no like definitive moment when it goes from her laughing because something's funny to her laughing because she's oxygen deprived, but she's kind of giggling, but then she's laughing at the fact that the hot dog's lips have turned blue. That makes her laugh. So that at that point you realise obviously something's probably wrong. But it definitely takes a while, I think, for them to really, really hit sort of the worst. And they're obviously, even when the oxygen level went down to 0, there still would have been some in the room. But when they try and identify what caused it, and they said that it was the environmental computer had malfunctioned and was trying to adjust the air pressure in the room. Obviously, it wouldn't really just stop the oxygen to change the air pressure. It would be the air as a whole, not just one part of it. So that's obviously a big red flag that something's wrong. But when the door wouldn't open, I thought that there was like a person had done something to sabotage it. You think the way it's shot, it's like, and the thing with D, with her, like they say that the transmission has come from inside the ship. And with her thing overloading, you'd think, well, a person could have done something to sabotage it, and then you've got this, and it's like, well, the door's locked. Somebody messed with the outside of the door to lock them in, and then like cut an oxygen line like that's being fed into the room. It very much made you think that there was somebody, like an actual person on board the ship that had done this. So I was there sort of thinking, oh God, are we going? Is there somebody else that in the crew that's a Cylon, and now they've been switched on, and this is going to happen. So it was. It wasn't disappointing that it was the virus, but it was kind of like, oh God, thank God they're not introducing like another are they, aren't they? It's like after having said like in close succession, we've had like the two new Cylons with the doctor guy on Caprica. I've forgotten his name now. Simon. There we go. There was him, and then last week, obviously, we've had these new Cylons, and it's like, well, they're popping up everywhere now. They're kind of spreading like wildfire. So if we got another one now that's just going to appear that's been kind of incognito on the fleet all this time, and now they're kind of doing things to sabotage the ship. But but obviously they weren't. So I'm not sure why I'm waffling about it. But the joint effort to shoot the door and blow out the glass, it was quite sweet that they sort of, even when they're kind of, well, dying almost, they're still kind of like working together to save themselves. And it's still, I still think there's very much a thing between them two. Although Lee had his little moment with Dee, I think maybe that was just more being all hot and sweaty and lying on top of a pretty girl. It was kind of, it was like, oh, hello. Whereas with Starbuck, he genuinely has feelings for her. So I kind of ship them more than him and Dee.
Is that your big ship? Well, if I can ask the panel, like, what's your big ship, Amy?
Yeah, it would be Apollo and Starbuck. I think there's definitely, even from very, very early on, I think I got the impression that she perhaps felt that she had chosen the wrong brother at some point. I know that thought crossed my mind in one of the really early episodes, and I can't remember what it was that made me think that. But when you look at how they are with each other, it's more than just oh, you know, you were engaged to my brother, so you're like family. It's not that kind of connection that they have with each other. There's definitely a sort of it's a bit deeper than that, and it's not just a sexual thing. It's like I don't know how to explain it.
Have you ever held a gun and fired it with somebody, like, at the same time? Like, that's pretty romantic to me, anyway.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like,
but I'm like a fucked up guy from the Midwest.
No, but I see what you mean. Even though it's, you know, it's essentially, it's a weapon. It's kind of intimate how they were with each other, and a lot of how they are with each other does sort of have this undercurrent of kind of intimacy and sexual tension and like a longing for each other, and a lot of stuff unsaid. But I've kind of interpreted their relationship like that for quite a long time. So they're like I would definitely ship them too.
I can follow that. Clarissa, do you have a big ship?
I ship Saul and Ellen.
That's the most miserable thing of all time. Like, they hate each other.
I know, and that's what keeps them together.
And what, you think eventually they're just gonna love each other?
I don't think they don't love each other. I think that
love and hate are a lot closer than love and indifference.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is that, like, I do think that they love each other. I don't think that it's a healthy love, but I definitely think they love each other. You know, it's as for like I said before, the whole like D Apollo thing, I don't think they would have featured it if they weren't going to do something with it at some point. Or at least have Starbucks see it happen. Because Apollo's already gotten mad about her banging Baltar earlier in the series.
Would you bang Baltar?
Yeah.
I do want to throw out there because I can't help myself and I'm curious. The
Sorry,
straight
Johnny,
nitrogen.
I'm derailing your show.
No, it's okay. The straight nitrogen would have worked way faster than NO.
What?
Because it bonds with the nitrites in your body, and it also can cause a super duper relaxed feeling, like, which explains hot dog's immediate collapse as well. So they were
Clarissa
pretty
and I
dead
have
on with
no
that scene.
idea what straight nitrogen is like.
Hey, it's not like laughing gas, but
Neither of us.
it was crazy.
Neither of us have any clue what you're talking about.
No, but that's the scene was pretty damn accurate after
You need
reading what happened.
You need the oxygen with the nitrogen, but yeah, it's
Wah,
Yeah.
wah.
Don't do whippets, kids.
Well, no, just the nitrogen itself sucks the rest of the oxygen out of their body faster.
Oh, yeah. I see what you mean. But again, then I think it goes down to conditioning, like body conditioning and training. As soon as they realized that there wasn't enough oxygen in the room, they were probably making every move that they made was invested, right? At that point, everything had to have a purpose, every movement, none wasted, because every movement had to be to get air in that room.
Yeah, that's why they didn't even have a chance to hold their breath because, really athletic people can probably go 2 to 3 minutes
Well,
and still be okay. But they
yeah,
got it
and
completely
oxygen,
sucked
like,
out of them by the chemicals.
it makes your blood flow. Like,
Yeah. I
Well,
mean, and
no.
they could both be excellent swimmers for all we know, right? Swimmers have incredible lung capacity and the ability to function with less oxygen than every other person who's not trained, right? So, yeah, maybe they had a lot of zero G training in the pool and they're just better at holding on to their oxygen in their cells.
Yeah, the Cylons
So,
are assholes because if they would have just cut off all the gases simultaneously, they would have had more time. They wouldn't have had the oxygen depleted out of their bodies as fast, which I think is pretty crazy. Going back to that, what the hell are they trying to do with the virus?
well,
Is it connected
oh,
with
first
Boomer?
I have to
I think
ask
that's a good question.
Kenzie, do you have a ship?
Yeah, because I can kind of see where like Amy and Clarissa are coming from, but like the young love, you get that, but then there's always um Rosalind and Adama, like two older people, kind of like on probably what you can assume is maybe like a relationship after like probably losing a husband in a like a wife scenario.
I'm
Like
sitting right here. Like, do you really have to talk about this?
um but yeah, it's like kind of that like weird thing where they don't know kind of how they felt about each other probably in like the first, well, that's not shown well on screen, but it's like when they were all on Cobol, when they had that conversation of like, I hope you're all right, and then it's like, or I'm happy to see you again. It's like, yeah, I feel like it could be it's a cute thing because me and my old soulness, I'm sentimental about stuff like that, and yeah, the young
That had
folk,
no
they can.
soul. I'm confused.
I don't even know at this point, but yeah, I feel like Adama and Rosalind can be very cute together. Plus, Rosalind already has it in with his kid in terms of like he like follows uh Rosalind quite.
Stepmama.
Yeah, she's kind of like already the pseudo stepmom or like mother material. So
Amy
hey,
wants to scream at me. I see her already.
hey, why not?
I was going to scream at you. I was actually going to agree with Mackenzie, actually, because if they want to repopulate like the human race, then the older persons, well, older women at least, would perhaps be surplus to requirement if they're kind of past childbearing age. They kind of just shack them up with the old fellas instead, and just be like, yeah, you go off and do your thing, and let the young people get on with the repopulation. So she won't be allowed a younger man anyway.
Oh, so Johnny, if I can derail this a little more,
Go ahead, man.
Kenzie brought it up. I'm blaming you, Kenzie.
Fine.
If it came down to it, would Apollo take Rosalind's side or his dad's?
Depends on the situation.
Oh, that's
Okay, give me
okay.
a scenario then.
If it came down to it, if it came down to, let's say, season 1, episode 10 happened again.
What was that one again? I'm sorry, I have medicine head.
That's the one where he held a gun to Ty's head. Adama
Oh,
declared martial law, like, or just shy of declared martial law. Arrested the
Mm,
president.
I
Do you think
prob-
Do you think Apollo would have taken? Do you think Apollo now would have taken his dad's side or Rosalind's side?
yeah, well, he did it before when he was like kind of upset with his dad, so do it again, even though he's kind of forgiven his dad for what had happened, even though it was actions were happened to him. Um, yeah, he still respects Rosalind. It's not like it's changed. The only thing that's changed is that she's she's still alive and that are in a better standing because the fleet was brought back together.
Well, I mean, Connell said you got like a month on the outside, so he could be like, "Yeah, I totally support you for the next 4 weeks."
It'll be morbid, like, but no, I feel like he would just do what he would do just again, because she's
So
the
you think
president.
he would do the same thing in the same circumstances, given the experiences he's had between then and now?
Well, everything that happened to Adama was happened to him. Like Adama didn't put it on himself. Like it was just circumstance. The whole like getting shot by Sharon and all of that stuff. Like
No, but I'm saying it's changed Lee.
yeah, but he'd still probably go with Rosalind because, like we've talked about, he has that familiarity and that respect for Rosalind. It's not just because stuff has changed with Adama means anything because she's still the leader for however long she's still around. So, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm rambling.
nah, it's okay.
No, I just want everyone's honest opinion about what they think. If they think that Apollo's character has changed in these past 10 episodes.
I think it has partly, but I think he wouldn't have changed like his morals, and realistically I think he would do the right thing regardless of whose side that put him on. I think he wouldn't be biased by his sort of his relationship with someone. It would be what he thinks is the right thing regardless of any personal feelings around it.
That's
Good
a good
thought.
point. First, let's kind of, John, you want to get this roll out of the way for Al Red Sox fan and Catherine Harding.
Is Catherine here?
She is not here.
Okay. Let's get the
But
roll away.
we will still roll and do it. So let's
Al,
go ahead.
Al, are you still here?
Al, would you like that hashtag toot in the 10?
I think he's still here.
Can you see the chat? Look at yourself on there.
Or
gotta
wait
use
for Al, Clarissa, what do you think?
He says that
Al
I
win
win by default.
Well,
Al, do you want odd or even? I've got a D20 here.
odd or even, Al? You can say you get a leg up since you're what do you call it? Shit, I can't even think.
Since he's here.
Yeah, you get a leg up since you're here, so pick odd or even. Even, he says.
Even? Why am I that kid? Okay. You guys see me rolling this? Here we
They hate
go.
me.
And we have, I'll do this in our Red Sox fan manner. We have a 7, folks.
Damn, Al.
The box goes to Catherine Harding. Our Red Sox fan, I am so glad you showed up, but you're going to have to wait for the next game.
Oh my god, Al hates us now. He wants a reroll.
Yeah, he wants it because we couldn't see
How
it.
Red Sox fan, like,
John, roll so no one can see and call it. I knew he was gonna say something.
was my Al impression at least decent?
No.
Al, I'm gonna ask
Ju-
you. Al, was my impression at least decent?
Al's taking forever to respond because he's doing 15 things at one time, I guarantee you. And yeah, there are plenty more. We will be
He has like
doing
19
these.
live streams going on.
He said it was okay.
He said it was okay. And I just want to say, so you got to give us about a month to get it to you. They're still in production. The design is still being perfected and tightened up. But if this is the rough design of what you'll get, it's going to be fantastic. Little retro lunchbox, and we're going to fill it up with a few things. So congratulations, Catherine Harding. Uh, we'll also announce this again when we do the double up podcast on Tuesday. And so don't miss that. And we'll make sure we get that to Catherine Harding so she can see that she won. And hopefully she's doing all right tonight. I know
Al,
life gets in the
Al
way.
said if he had won, my impression would have been great.
Yeah, I agree with you, Al. Even though it's impression shit either way, Al's a nice guy. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, your fart in the box is coming, Catherine Harding, and I will cock it up, and you will get to PM me what you would like me to eat before I put that fart in the box. So, yeah, just let me know. I'll be in touch.
Johnny, stop being gross.
I don't remember asking your opinion. Sorry.
Yeah, you don't talk to your Twitter wife that way.
Yeah, come on.
I gotta sleep at the
Bobby
foot of the
will
bed
back
now.
me up. If Bobby's still here, Bobby would have backed me up.
You know what they say, happy spouse, happy house.
Happy spouse, broken person.
Also, you got to be nice to all the ladies on the panel. It's hashtag Happy International Women's Day. Still.
I live in America. There's no international here. I'm joking. Please don't. I'm just being redneck right now.
We
Al
only
Red
got
Sox
outer
fan
national.
says, "Eat Taco Bell, Johnny." What do you want me to die, Al?
Oh no.
Why
Well,
do
that shut everybody the hell up.
you recently hang out with the two of us vulgar men? That's the real question. That's the real question about episode 9 of Battlestar Galactica season 2. Like, you are three decent ladies and you hang out with two of the most vulgar men on the planet.
I'm pretty vulgar.
Why?
I can be vulgar. I could
Ooh,
probably make a
Amy.
sailor blush with my language sometimes. So
Oh, let's
I
do
tone
this
it
then,
down while
Amy.
we're on air.
Let's, no, why do you got to do that?
That's
And
the
make me
thing
feel
with
all
me,
bad.
I have a filter, but it just like clicks off.
So let's cut back here.
Midnight clock out, it clicks off.
I'm gonna turn you off, John. I'm gonna click you off.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you
Aye, sir.
Cylonus
Right, sir.
bastard, or whatever you want to call it. No, you're good. Just stop saying stuff. No, I'm kidding. I didn't even know what I was gonna say. No, we're having a good time here. But let's go back to the plan to use Boomer to try to get rid of this virus. Now, this is kind of Gata's idea to an extent, but Adama's the one that decides to bring in and ask Boomer about it and get Hilo to talk to her. So with that, I guess since I hear Clarissa like taking in a deep breath, that way she can say a bunch of stuff at one time, I'll let you go first.
First, sorry, I'm getting noises from the other side of the door. Yeah, so the whole they come up with this analysis of what's going on and why systems are failing, Baltar and Gata. So he orders for Hilo to go and bring this information to Boomer to look over. She looks over it. She's like, "Oh no, Teledama, I need to talk to him." I was kind of like, it's like he showed up at her cell, kind of in a "what do you want me for" fashion, and I was kind of thinking to myself, you're the one who wanted her to look at this stuff, genius.
What up,
What do you
girl?
think she's got you there for? Duh. Why are
Nah,
you
he's
being
just
a
playing
douche?
coy, Clarissa. He's just playing
Oh,
coy.
please, come on. No, he's just being a douche, is what he's
Ha!
doing. So anyway,
Hashtag nano douche.
right? So it's a teeny little douche. But
Everybody, where's the hashtags tonight, too, by the way? I'm kind of disappointed in the chat. Y'all better get it going.
so anyway, this is the point at which, she says, "So the plan is," and then cut to the next scene. So we don't know what she's gonna do until, well, nobody really knows what she's gonna do until the Cylons begin the attack. Which must have been fun after her whole little interaction with Hilo being, "So, do you remember being with the chief?" Which was really junior high, like bad form, Hilo. Come on.
So what do you think really happened? Because was this set up to begin with for her to save them? Or did Boomer really choose this? I think that's the pertinent question here.
Well, I mean, that's always a possibility. Anytime that, there's possible infiltration, the first rule of being captured when you're in combat is that you take every opportunity to escape. And you take every opportunity to sabotage the enemy. No matter how, friendly they are to you and how well they treat you while you're in their prison or whatnot, it's your job to get out, and it's your job to stop them from accomplishing their goals. So that's the question in any case in this sort of a situation. So not really a unique situation. But oh my God, the hashtags are going crazy in the chat now. Sorry, I just noticed
I
that.
set off a firestorm.
I sure did. Well done. Well done. So, I just, yeah, that was a thought in my head from the whole time. She saved them, regardless of the fact that she may have been put there to save them. They definitely needed a break. And their break came when this entire fleet of Cylon raiders just collapsed when she sent back a virus. And that was really gross how she had to put the tube up her hand. Like,
Ooh, check out Night
couldn't she have
Flyers.
just had like a little flap with an interface? Like, come on. They had to make it gross. They keep having to make it gross. They make gross, fleshy, bloody insides of the ship.
Well, she could have put it somewhere else. I think they put it in a decent spot. No, I mean like her ear or nose or butthole.
Or,
there's a few.
like a flap to a control panel that she could plug
Hold
into
on just a
jack.
second. I didn't even key into what you said there. Now you just said that. I was like, holy crap. Okay, yeah, that's it. My bad. I didn't.
That kind of flap.
I didn't even notice she said that until she got it.
Kraken Skywalker, like she's got this like little flip open arm thing.
Like Data.
Kenzie, your thoughts on flaps?
What?
What are your thoughts on flaps?
I don't know. Clarissa brought it up. I'm joking. No.
Yeah, blame Clarissa. It's not me. I'm not being dirty.
Everything to do with the virus and Boomer.
Oh, like when Boomer tapped into like.
Let's talk about Boomer's flaps.
No. When Boomer kind of because she knew what she had to do because they had the Cylons coming for Galactica, because that was a thing that she had mentioned to Hilo, was like, I pretty much know what I have to do. You have to let Adama and all of them know about this, so then I can do it. And when she's let out, I was like, when she has like the dog collar, you're like, okay, now she's like really been chained up. And when obviously she does that thing where she uh, hardwires herself into become kind of the brand almost of the it,
And
it
the three-eyed Cylon.
yeah. And she does that.
Actually, I would say Brand is the three-eyed Cylon. If you're gonna go with continuity there.
And when she does it, it's just like, yeah, it gets bloody and stuff. But I guess she picked the right hand almost, because it's like, because in our own physiology, that there's like the blood vessels, like there's blood vessels that go all the way to our heart and potentially to our head. So maybe that was the reason why she picked that specific arm and over the other one. And when she obviously, when they all find out that she's the reason why they were able to signal that that ship was now a Cylon, that's kind of suspicious. That now she has basically all of the information in a download, almost, because we know that there's the there's the other version of Caprica Boomer that we saw in the last episode. So now that they have like even more information than they already do about the humans, kind of scary, but also kind of exciting to see like if all of the information that they have, including battle strategy, makes any difference moving forward, in terms of if they use what they know against them too.
That is a good point. Amy, I know you want to read out some of these hashtags. She can crochet with one hand too. Have you guys seen that?
No, I can't. I have to wrap my
They'll never
yarn around
know.
my fingers. The hashtags are fucking awesome. Easy access flap absolutely killed me when I read that. So well done for that one, Julianne. The whole interfacing with the ship thing. I wonder if the other Cylons know that they can do that. It's really quite unusual. But I wonder if it's something to do with their sort of half flesh, half Cylon ship things. I don't know if it's like that she's got like it's not like she's got some sort of specific port thing in that particular area of her
But
body.
the
I think
first time
perhaps,
she's done it.
yeah, doesn't seem like it's the first time. Or maybe it's the first time she's done it as this model, but maybe it's something that a previous model that she has the information from has done. But you don't know what she's connected to in her body. It might not be a blood vessel, it could just be a tendon, a ligament, anything, because it's using the electrical signals that travel between your nerves and your brain. So it could be literally anything inside her hand that it's connected to. In which case, probably should be able to conduct through the surface of her skin, but I'm being needlessly anally scientific about that. But yeah, I think it's more to do with like nerve impulses than having to travel
That's why we
through.
love you. Hashtag anal in the chat.
Feels like the first time. Feels like the very first time.
Oh, stop it. I
So you
think,
can't say that after I say that hashtag, John. That just makes it double weird.
yeah, it does. I think if that particular model had done it before, I think perhaps they would have shown some sort of scar on her hand where she was cutting her hand to kind of nod to it. So I think they've left that sort of ambiguous. And I liked the way that she mentioned to, like, she was actually talking to all the crew by name, and she'd sort of said to Dee, like, do you still carry your dad's pocket knife? Kind of showing, she's kind of demonstrating how she does actually know them, even though she kind of doesn't. And the way they were transporting her, Mackenzie mentioned something about like a dog, and it was like a dangerous dog and on a big pole with a collar. That's what you do to
Good
try
thing
and
Thomas Edison doesn't live on the Galactica.
using like the pole and the collar thing is how you would move like a dangerous dog around. And I actually felt really sorry for her, seeing her being moved around the ship like that. It was although the way they've spoken about her and stuff is that they're treating her less than human, to see her being treated like an animal.
So you starting to feel for the Cylons more than the humans?
Not more than the humans. Like, I understand their motives for it, but it was a very graphic way of actually dehumanizing the Cylons. Previously, it's been how they speak about them, but for them to actually have somebody being moved around like you would transport a dangerous animal, it's a lot more in your face, I think. But
Well,
I
the
think
other day you called me a fucking toaster, so
yeah, but calling them toasters and stuff's not quite as harsh.
I mean, I was a little offended.
Yeah.
It,
Well, Al has a pertinent question. Do you think George Jetson was ever led on a dog leash by Rosie the Robot?
only in his darkest porn dreams.
Craziness.
Well, in mine, Rosie has to have a clown wig on at least.
I think they've deliberately done this with Sharon, though, to make you feel sorry for her. I think it is actually a deliberate thing, to kind of give you that sort of, you sympathise. You know, you can see how she's been treated, and very, you know, okay, she's a Cylon, but she also happens to be, she's pregnant as well.
No,
What?
she had she's had the baby.
No, she hasn't.
Yeah, they got the baby out of her.
Did they?
No,
Yeah.
That's what Doc Cottle said he was doing.
He said he was
we
trying
haven't
to
seen it.
save her baby.
you can still like keep
We'll
it
see.
inside.
It would
Okay.
have to be like a tiny fucking fetus, because she had no like obvious bump, and it's not implied that that amount of time has passed.
Well, it doesn't
So
have to look like a regular baby.
No, I know, but
It's
they
up
would
in the
have.
air. It's up in
They
the
would.
air whether
They,
that baby's out or
they
not.
would
I'll
have.
just say that.
They would
Okay,
have
I don't even need to
shown.
twiddle my mustache. The baby has not been born yet, but the baby was at risk
I'm
of dying.
told.
yeah, that's it was like a
Yeah,
threatened
John, let me
miscarriage. It
mess with
wasn't.
them.
Okay, Johnny's gonna beat me later.
I had the impression that the baby was taken out, but that, I guess.
Hashtag would have happened either way, John.
It's because she was still touching her stomach, and you know, she would know if the baby had been removed, I think, and she
Yeah,
would have
yeah.
gone absolutely fucking ballistic of give me back my fucking baby.
And
So
Hilo would have figured that out too.
yeah, so yeah, they're treating, it's not just that she's a Cylon, you know, you have more sympathy for her because like she's kind of vulnerable, I think.
She's a mum.
Yeah, I mean, that could be my kind of bias, being a mum as well, kind of thing. Oh, but she's pregnant, and you should look after her, and that kind of thing. But that's why I feel sympathetic towards her. I think it's because like she's been physically treated badly. It's not just people saying things to her now. It's, you know, they're chaining her up and transporting her around like she's a dangerous dog on like a fucking pole, and it's It's sad. It is a little bit sad, but I think they do it on purpose to make you feel sorry for her, and that will probably come back to bite me in the ass. At which
Would
point
you feel
you
bad
can
if
say,
Leo were on a collar like that?
"What?
Would you feel bad if Leo were on a collar like that?
Yeah, I think I still would. I think it's.
Or Doral?
I'd feel sorry for them. Yeah, I
How do you
think
feel
perhaps it
about
would depend.
airlocks?
I think it would depend on what they had done to warrant that kind of treatment, and this Sharon hasn't done anything wrong. She's actually helped them.
So you
So
do think that this Sharon is different than Boomer?
yeah, definitely.
But an entirely different person.
Not entirely different. I think she doesn't have all of that Sharon's memories, just some of them. So to a point they would have been the same, and then they've diverged, and her experiences have changed how she is as a person as such. Plus the fact that she's expecting a child, that's what caused her to rebel sort of against the other Cylons, you would think. Like that specific moment when her and Hilo run off instead of heading off to the love shack in the woods. She says
No, yeah,
everything's
I think I get your reference. Like these Cylon models, they're the same person until a certain point,
yeah.
and then things diverge.
Has anybody seen the movie Multiplicity, where Michael Keaton makes clones of himself? And then by the end, it's like, I like pizza, Steve. He has like all
Oh
these clones
God.
he makes. He has one that goes to work, one that tends to his wife, one that does the chores. And it just, oh, if you have not
No,
seen
I'll see this.
Multiplicity,
I need
it,
to.
It's been a
it
long
just,
time.
the I like
Sounds
pizza, Steve.
interesting.
It's hilarious.
I think that might need to be on the extra channel.
We could do that. Yeah, I don't think anybody on the panel but me seen it. So yeah, it's a class.
Yeah,
Oh, it's hilarious.
I don't think I'm like 100% a Cylon sympathizer. I think I just have empathy for kind of the situation that she's
You would
in.
sympathize with Johnny and me and Mackenzie? Like really?
But she
Like we're
hasn't
over half
done
the panel. We're your friends.
she hasn't done anything wrong though. She has genuinely tried to help them, and everything that she's done has been to try and protect herself and her baby and Hilo. That's like those are her priority. And she's being effectively punished for the actions of someone else because it wasn't her that shot Dharma. So
Yeah, you shoot somebody and you get out of jail in 30 days. That's pretty awesome, right?
yeah, so it's the treatment's very very different, and
I
I
wish
think
I could get away with that.
I'm conflicted now.
You know, we have a server at my work. I think I'm just gonna claim he's a Cylon.
I'm just reading the comments.
Because I'm gonna shoot him, and then 30 days later, I'll be good. I'll be scot free.
Yeah, hashtag beat off John is the new hashtag. I want everybody to.
Beat off John. Okay. Yeah.
John said Johnny will beat me now, and I was like, well, hashtag it would have happened either way.
The Beat Off Johns is a different channel. Whole other platform.
Mackenzie, can you bring us back to adulthood? The irony.
Before she does, Julie made a really good point.
Before she
Julianne, in the chat, she said Boomer could easily have broken the shackles, which is a very good point. She could have done.
Especially
Or
with that mama strength.
Exactly.
Julianne also said a dog coddle took my baby instead of a dingo ate my baby.
Julianne said hashtag John can beat himself off.
Cylon fans are not getting getting into my bunker. From Mal Red Sox fan.
Hashtag I only want Cylons in my bunker.
Ooh, Bubba has a great comment I don't want to look over. I wasn't here when y'all talked about Adama and Roslyn. Y'all can go ahead and talk about this. You can start off first, Kenzie. The way she was talking to him reminded me way too much of Nanolon 6 inside Baltar's head. That's an interesting point.
Yeah, she's trying to kind of gauge what Adama is thinking in terms of letting Sharon do what she thinks she can do and how she can save the ship. I don't think it's to the fullest extent of what Six does, even though we didn't see her this episode. But it's a possibility that she's just trying to be someone that he can kind of bounce ideas off of. That's not Ty, who like freaks out at like every single thing that happens with the younger crew members. So it's just
No, but on the same note, I gotta say, Ty, when we kind of skipped the scene, but Chief's got his little pet projects. Ty actually came down and he was like, "Oh, hey, I've got this captain on another ship who's trying to get rid of these engines. Maybe I'll make it work for you." Of course, he does take his little jar of whiskey, but
It was like the only good decision that he made this whole episode. Like good old bad call Saul.
Yeah.
He
Bad
just
call Saul is that your name?
hashtag bad call Saul.
Oh, that is good. That's got to be on some kind of paraphernalia at this point.
Did anybody see the nitrogen bomb in the corner?
Bubba says he helped his
From
uncle
Bubba?
jack off a horse.
No, I'm talking
lucky
about
Uncle Jack didn't break his leg getting off of that horse then.
like not cracking jokes. Did anybody see the hydrogen bomb that Bubba dropped in the corner there?
You talking about the one I just read off and asked him to talk about?
I'm talking about Rosalind's Cylon.
I just, yeah, that's kind of what he was hitting at the Six thing. But yeah, elaborate, Jills, on that.
Well,
I'm intrigued too, John.
She could be if she survives the 3 weeks to the month that she's supposed to.
Even if she doesn't, could it just be a program to where her model expires at that point?
Yeah, or it's like she gets a reboot and she gets starts all over again. But yeah, could be something. But I don't know, because they kind of wholly just kind of disemboweled all the testing, which was a big thing for like 2 episodes to try and test every single person who's a Cylon. So I don't know. She could be. It would be kind of a big twist that the leader of a whole bunch of humans happens to be a Cylon. But I don't think she is. I think she's a plain old Jane human. So, yeah.
Amy, what do your notes think happened?
I think that if they were going to have a Cylon agent in some sort of government position, her original position would have been closer to the actual president than it was. I think it would be too much coincidence for her to be a Cylon and then happen to be the president when she was so far down the line of succession, as it were.
Wasn't she at the doctor when shit went down?
Was she what?
Was she at the doctor when shit went down, John? I can't remember.
Just before, I think she wasn't
just
she?
Before. She was with the doctor right before the shit went down, and then she got on her ship and to go and be the advisor of education at the decommissioning ceremony for the Battlestar Galactica. Which
Yeah,
is
I
something
think
that everybody forgets all the fucking time. This is a ship that was just about to be decommissioned. Like, it's
Basically a
obsolete.
relic.
It's a relic.
yeah, I think she's too far removed from sort of a position of power when the Cylons attack for them to have had her as a sleeper agent. As such. So I don't know. I'm not convinced. I'm like her conversation with Adama as well when he's saying like he said it took everything he had not to strangle her essentially, and it's not the one who shot him. And she asks, "Can they really be that different?" She says, "We created them, so there's always a chance we may find common ground." I don't think she's still sort of also urging him to be cautious as well. So I don't think she's trying to influence his decision either way. I think
But she's
maybe,
not going for the airlock move,
yeah,
at least.
And she likes the airlock move. I mean,
she does.
That's her
Yeah,
go-to
see,
move right there.
if she was a Cylon, she would be less inclined to throw her.
that's her fatality.
She's like, you want to go on a date? I'll meet you in the airlock.
Dude, if you're fighting Rosalind in Mortal Kombat, her fatality is the airlock. You're like, oh.
I also think there's the point that is like there wouldn't be such a push by 6 for Baltar to reinforce his position of power so much if they already had somebody in a position of power. Like they wouldn't be trying so hard to have her undermined.
Well, Rosalind's a temporary figurehead as well, and
Yeah.
seemingly they've known this all along too. So you have to factor that in. This has
I don't
been
think
part
they're
of the.
thinking about it, but they know it in the back of their heads. Like, she's Gerald Ford. Like, she's filling the office until the term is filled. But she is Gerald Ford. Like, nobody voted for her. No, like Tom Zarek has a fucking point. Nobody voted for her. Nobody elected her.
Yeah.
More
And
like
that's,
Kim Campbell. If you're an older Canadian, you'll know who I'm talking about.
I do, even though
Yay!
in school we learned about her.
Oh, good. Well, I was there, so
Is that the person,
I remember it
the founder
happening.
of Campbell's Soup? I'm joking. Tell us all about it for the people who don't know.
Kim Campbell was the she was elected leader of the Liberal Party when the leader of the Liberal Party at the time had stepped down. And so because she was the new party leader, that put her in the position of prime minister until such time as election came around and their party or another party would be elected. And assuming she was still party leader, she would have stayed prime minister, but she may have also lost her position as party leader. I was like 11 when it happened. So.
No, but at least she was elected, though.
No. She wasn't elected because we have a party. The party system here is the number of seats that you hold that your party holds in parliament. You either have a majority or minority party, right? You have your majority party and you have your main opposition. And traditionally, the leader of your party is the one who is going to be the prime minister, although that's not the law. But traditionally, that's what falls on the head of the party leader. So while the MPs vote on who their party leader is, the people vote on who their MPs are.
Okay.
Right? We have members of parliament, and then the members of parliament decide who their party leader is.
That's the same as we do
within the
here.
party. Yeah, we have the same parliamentary system as you do in
It's
England.
slightly different for us. It's a position. You have the president, then you have the vice president, then you have the chair of the Senate, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't have anything to do with what party somebody's part of. It just has to do with like their position.
Yeah, no, that's not how ours works. And also, technically, nobody is the prime minister until the governor general, who's the representation of the crown of Queen Elizabeth II. The governor general has to declare who the prime minister is. So if the leader of the party, it's not of say this party was elected as the head party, and it's not felt that their party leader is a suitable person to be the prime minister, the governor general can choose someone else to be prime minister. But traditionally, the leader of the majority party becomes prime minister of the nation.
Right.
It's tradition, it's not law.
Okay.
And good night, Al. Nice
Good
having
night,
you here,
Al.
man.
Night,
Night, night.
Al. Be sure
Al,
to
you
tune
get your
in.
smart box soon. I promise.
Don't worry.
My Twitter father.
So in
Both-
any case, but Kim Campbell, that's what happened to her, is that the leader of their party, she was the deputy leader, so
For like
it
6
immediately
months?
fell on her to
think
be
it was
the
like
leader of the
6 months.
party.
Yeah, it
'Cause
was
there's
like a
no,
short
vice.
period.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah, it was
vice
like a
prime minister.
Yeah, short period of time, like 6 months or something.
Yeah,
that,
like
if
not
I
even a
remember.
year. Yeah.
And she's our only female prime minister too.
Yeah. Yes.
We haven't had a female fucking anything, okay?
You've
You
had
have
Congress
females,
people.
yeah, Supreme Court justices.
We don't have a good
Yeah.
track record with female prime ministers here.
No, you haven't. It's been bad. Oh dear, oh dear.
So I just
Yeah,
gotta
let's get
say,
out of
first off,
politics, 'cause-
this is my pick for president of the fleet, Tom Selleck. Everybody give him a hand.
Yay! Tom Selleck.
All right, so
Chris was like, let's get my show back on track.
I think Zarek would have my best interests in mind.
yeah, I'm not sure of that. I'm sure that Zarek would have his own best interests in mind. And yeah.
Hey, can y'all segue into that jalopy that was made in just a sec? Whenever y'all feel like it. We had a new jalopy. Oh,
The
that's
one
our
that
term.
brought everybody together.
That's our term for a raggedy car down here. This was put together with love and peanut butter. And love, I do say lots of love, because as we've noted
Dude, that's-
before, Tyrrell has a
that's awesome,
sexual
right?
relationship with his craft.
They were
I
just
think Amy is the one who uncovered that. I'm not sure. But yeah, this was uncovered earlier. Secrets behind the secrets of the Battlestar. Tyrrell and his Lovecraft. Ooh, little play on words there.
I
Go for
like
it.
what you did there, Johnny.
it was kind of the spindly Christmas tree of Charlie Brown, wasn't it? Loo, 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 loo. Everybody
Oh
got
my
together
gosh,
and
that
gave it
was
some love.
Yes. Yes. It was a good moment, though. What did you think of that moment? I mean, come on. We know John cried. How did you feel?
Oh, were you asking me how I felt?
No, I was asking Clarissa how she felt
Oh,
about
Yeah,
John
yeah, I was
crying
just
and how you
flipping
felt
you
about
off
the
for
scene.
saying
Oh, I didn't know you were asking me.
My syntax was off. Sorry.
I got a bit misty eyed at the whole thing, when they did the name uncover. And I like how she was a tension breaker by like taking that bottle and being all like there was like no.
Like, do you realize how little champagne is left in the fleet?
Exactly. I have to say there were 2 points at which I got teary eyed. There was the part where
Oh, y'all want to know
Starbuck
what
disappears.
it was called? It's Leonis Estates Sparkling Wine.
Martini and Rossi, Asti Spumante. Sorry.
Ha!
But when Starbuck does the test flight
Clarissa doesn't
and
even need
Apollo's
to
looking
look.
for him,
She knows I
looking for
turned my
him.
nose up when she said Martini and Rossi.
Oh yeah, I know. It's like it's swill, but the
She knows I turned my nose up. Like you don't even have to look.
John's got a leathery mall back he'll give you.
Hey, it ain't got nothing on Baby Duck. Do you guys
Said
have
he
Baby
said,
Duck?
yeah, I know what baby duck is. That's from what I hear, it's pretty damn good. I'm not a wine aficionado. I don't drink that
No,
much.
it's awful.
Really? It is awful. What
You
about
get it in like 4-liter jugs.
oh, maybe I'm thinking something else. Something else is called something duck and supposedly a good wine, but I can't remember.
And then
Decoy. You're thinking of decoy.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Decoy is a fucking delicious wine.
Might as well just go get you some Mad Dog 2020 if they still make that.
I don't know. But
Are we gonna
That's
have
like-
Mad Dog night at Con, John?
Good
That's
God, I don't want to answer
teenage
migraine.
drink of choice here,
You
or
know
it
about
was
throwing
when
up?
I was a teenager.
That stuff. I can't drink sweet stuff anyway. It's
Nor
the
can
sweetest
I.
thing I can drink is a Long
That's
Island
why
iced
it
tea.
would be such an awful idea. And by awful, I mean awesome.
Yeah, it's a headache in a bottle too, though.
wine coolers. Hashtag headache.
Let's get back to drinking and driving and why
All
not to
right.
do it in this
Hashtag
jalopy.
bitch pops. No, I got teary-eyed a bit when they're doing the test flight of the rate of the new ship and Starbuck disappears and Apollo's like, he's like, Starbuck, and then there's that pause, and then he's like, Kara, are you okay? And I was just like, oh. It was sweet and kind of made me. And then she shows up and she's like, ha ha, sucker, you got all worried about me. It was back to the you love me moment. It was pretty funny messing with them. But
Everybody
that
just
and
not
then
say
the
nothing
Laura
for a little bit.
moment and the Laura reveal. Oh, yeah.
Let's give Clarissa an awkward silent moment. Hold on.
I've changed it to an intellectual pause.
The Thinking Man, brought to you by Clarissa Thompson. And thinking person, but the Thinking Man's called the Thinking Man. Whatever. You know what?
Thinking
I'm
person.
all woman, honey.
There you go. Get it on, Amy. I see you over there. Unpause, unmute, and start saying something wild and crazy. Because I know you're just irrational. You're such an irrational person, Amy. I got to hear what you need to say.
So
She's the only sane person on this fucking panel.
I'm what?
The only sane person on this panel.
That does not bode well for the rest of you.
Yeah, whatever.
Only
We're a
one
fun,
on
weird lot.
Yeah, I have no idea how much medication it takes to make me look sane.
Probably as much medication as the rest of us.
I rattle in the morning. No room for breakfast, full of pills. We were talking about the ship, and that moment that Clarissa was saying about thinking that when he thought that Starbuck had really gone, I was like that. I was like, oh, my heart was in my mouth. I was like, where's she gone? Like at first, when you just saw like the flash and she disappeared, I was like, oh, has she like tried out the FTL? And I was like, oh no, maybe it's that fast. It looks like she's just vanished because she's gone so fast. It's just like, boom, gone. But then it was kind of like, oh my God, what's happened? And because you didn't know where she'd gone, it's like, fuck, what have they done? Have they put some fucking time travel thing in it without realizing? They it wasn't just like a little tease. They really did keep it going as long as they possibly could before they were just like, nah, fooled you. And it was just like, oh my God, thank God she's okay. Because I think we'd have all been really, really upset if she'd kind of disappeared. And the really sweet thing when Rosalind came to see the ship and everything, it was so lovely the way all the engineers had signed their names on the side of the ship. It it was a real group effort, and it was actually really nice when you kind of saw the first guy.
Is it
started
more boating that it's like them signing a cast?
Oh no, not like that. I didn't see it that way. I saw it as like it's like the mark
And
that
where was
all of
Cyril's
them.
hands during the scene too? That's the question. Sorry.
I thought it was like a thing that they've all worked on it together, so it was kind of showing their, actually like putting their mark on it because they just contributed to it. That's kind of the impression I got. And actually, it was really, it was actually quite lovely when he was when Tyrrell was like working on it and he was struggling, and then one of the guys comes to help, and then you can see the rest of them are kind of looking like, yeah, we should probably help, and then eventually it ends up with not just the engineers but other people. You've got Dee working on it, you've got Starbuck working on it, and it gives them all something positive to do, because there's the bit where Adama's watching in the background, and he's keen on the idea as well. It seems like Apollo and Ty are the only ones that are negative about it. Like everyone else is kind of pitching in, and they're trying to. It's kind of boosting their morale, I think.
Ty's offended that anyone can smile.
Yeah. Ty's just a grumpy ass, really, isn't he?
Dude, if you were married to Ellen, would you be bitter about anybody who can smile?
Ty's
Yeah.
like, good
If I was married
morning.
to Ellen,
What's
I'd be
so
an
fracking
alcoholic.
good about it?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be like, oh, God, fuck you. You're happy. You know what I have to deal with every day when I go home?
There's no escaping
And I
it.
thought I finally got rid of her.
I burned her face out.
Even
of
the
picture.
Cylons couldn't take this bitch off my hands.
I was set up her being kidnapped, and that didn't work either.
Hadn't he already burned her face out of a photo with the cigar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was
Did
actually
she
a
ever
different
find that
producer.
picture when she came back?
I have never done that with a photograph.
No, I've just burnt the whole thing. I've done that.
I've never really.
No, I'm totally lying. Yes, I've totally taken a cigarette and put it through somebody's face in a photograph. Yeah.
I've never done that, but I've burnt whole photos. It's very
That's a
therapeutic.
story for after stream.
I put them
Yeah.
places and forget about them because even looking at them close, I mean, it just brings. I just try to put it aside and out of my mind as fast as possible. Like I'll find them years later and it's okay then, but yeah.
Yeah. The other really touching moment as well towards the end was that Hilo had suggested using a carbon composite instead of metal because metal was kind of needed for repairs.
Great pickup.
And everybody was like congratulating him on that, and it was kind of like they were that was what kind of got him accepted by the rest of the pilots. They were like, oh, that was a really good idea, and he actually got the credit for his idea.
You're still a toaster fracker, but
yeah, you're okay.
Yeah.
Kind of, it was really nice to see that he'd kind of got some credit, and everybody they really do like him after all. So I think that's going to kind of help him settle into their team as such.
Seriously, do you want to touch Grace or do you want to touch the random ginger kid?
I want to touch Grace, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Hey.
we're talking about the pilots here.
Sasa said, "Hey, she's the no. You're not like the random ginger kid, Sasa. Oh, don't make Sasa feel bad. John set me up, and we both make her feel like."
No, I wasn't referring to you, Sasa. I was talking about the asshole pilot who Hilo tried to shake hands with.
Racetrack?
No,
or the ginger kid.
The ginger guy.
Ginger kid. Like, would
And
you
hot
rather touch
dog.
him or Grace Parker? Like, I'd rather touch Grace Parker myself.
Who's that? I can't remember.
Oh, boomer.
That's
It was
been
Grace Park, but I think it's Grace Park. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
Kenzie's like, I'm not sure.
Who would you touch?
Maybe the random ginger kid is nice. Like,
Well,
he's
part of my kind, so why not?
nicer than a Cylon. I'm part of your
Part of my
kind. I'm just a jaywalker.
Bubba Husky said old fire crotch. Bubba Husky would go straight for old fire crotch.
But my thought on the whole them naming it after Rosalind's kind of cool because if she does pass away on the ship, then they'll always have a piece of Rosalind with them. But I don't think she's dying just yet. Although they say she's dying in 3 weeks from now. I don't think she's going yet because the actress is too good to be killed off.
Unfortunately, she's gone next episode. So spoiler alert. No, I don't.
No.
I said no.
I'm with Kenzie on this one.
Yeah,
I think there's more to it.
She's actually gonna slip and fall in the bathroom because the bathroom scenes are so pivotal here. You'll see this play out.
And then the cancer's gonna fall out of her, and she'll be cured.
Yeah.
No, she's gonna die in a slip and fall in the bathroom accident.
No.
It's gonna seem so trivial, but it's real life.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
It's like those
You
Life
won't get that
Alert
opportunity.
commercials.
She's gonna hit her temple and die an instant death. Sorry.
So then
Hashtag dark.
After this little heartwarming
Hashtag
event,
Johnny's worse
You're
than
all
I am.
interrupting me. I'm trying to talk about how I feel about it. And it's just like how when she almost is about to, because I guess the metal on the ship is very not soft, but like weaker than the other ones. It almost looked like when she was about to smash it over the thing too. Like that could have done something bad to the metal with the alcohol.
No, I think they were just like, oh my gosh, there's so little champagne left in the fleet.
But they could have done something
Like,
funny.
please don't waste it.
Hey, you know we're bad when Sasa has to tell us to shut up. I apologize.
Yeah.
And
Wait, no, she told you to shut up. Sasa, have you told me to shut up yet?
You're still talking, John.
Exactly.
And when they had,
I mean, if you want to, Sasa, please tell me to shut up. I want my first Sasa to shut up.
Tell him, Sasa.
well, I kind of told you all to like shush for a second. But yeah, it's like the fact that they had like this big ceremony for her is kind of cool because it's like the other week where they're like, "Well, we got her back." So to have like two things of we got her back, and then to have like next week or the week after be the episode that she dies would just be too tragic. And plus, you gotta have Laura stay around because she's gotta lead them to what is it? She's gotta lead them to
Earth.
Well, she led the Earth, so unless
You
they do
want her
that
to be
next
with
episode.
Adama too, right?
No, she has to point the way to Earth. Is specifically what the prediction says.
so Mackenzie,
Mhm.
when they were done with all the ceremony and stuff, and she's having the discussion with Adama,
Mhm.
like, did you think that her opinion of Sharon had changed?
I think she probably had that she had that whole experience with Sharon on Cobol, where she was like trying to help her do what she was supposed to do based off of the readings, the Bible sort of thing.
With
So
the
Scrolls of Pythia.
Scrolls of Pythia?
yeah, and so she like kind of feels endeared to her
Dude,
for
as
that.
far as she knows, like Sharon saved her fucking ass
Yeah.
on her fracking ass on Kobol. Like, as far as she knows, like Sharon saved her life.
Yeah. And she's still obviously kind of like, even though she did that, she's still kind of just like, let's just be slightly weary about it, but like because she could view herself as her judgment could be slightly off because of how much potential Kamala she's been taking. So she wants somebody else to probably reaffirm what she's thinking, and then obviously with the events of this episode and the fact that Sharon kind of put her life on the line for them and kind of saved them and kind of gave them the protection of a Cylon raider almost, that she feels endeared even more because now they kind of are like 47,853 lives are kind of protected for the time being now. So she can breathe a sigh of relief for 5 minutes until the next episode shows up where something again will happen and they're gonna have to deal with it. So yeah, I feel like she respects Sharon enough for what she's done for her and she's now done for the fleet, but she's still skeptical a tiny bit. May not be like as much before, but yeah.
Well, I mean, and Sharon also saved Adama on Kobol from Zarek's sidekick that wanted to execute both him and Apollo.
Yeah,
so
Apollo. Yeah, the pseudo family. The Rosalind's trying to sort of build. So yeah, she's doing well in the short time that this model's been on or involved in their lives. Yeah, I think so.
She's handling her death sentence with dignity for sure.
Mm-hmm.
With the utmost dignity.
Can I ask a question for the next scene?
Hell no. There's no way I would ever let you ask a question, but go ahead.
Okay. Does anybody think, like, because in the last scene we see Terrell go to talk to Sharon. And it's just like, you just get them picking up the receivers. And they're going to have a talk. And then it fades to black.
Well, he puts his nipple up to the glass first.
But my question to the panel was, when you guys saw this happen, like this kind of flashed into my head right away. I just was wondering if I'm the only one. I was thinking, was she right away waiting for him to pick that up to say, okay, remember that time when we were with Baltar and we were unconscious? This is what happened. Because she never had a chance to tell him what happened.
Oh, when Baltar was like, how many Cylons are there? On the ship?
Immediately, I thought of that moment.
Good point, Clarissa.
Because Sharon, dead Sharon, didn't really have the opportunity to tell the chief. Like, she was in fear of her life and that whole situation. Callie shot her and never got a chance. So it's like, is this one of the first things that Sharon's going to tell him? And is that going to make a difference in what happens with Baltar in future episodes? Was this a foreboding moment for Baltar?
Yeah.
That's not what I thought she was going to say, but I don't know. When Hilo went to take the code stuff to her earlier on, and he was saying, asking her about the chief, she said to him, "You're first in my heart," and I was so convinced she was about to say that to Tyrell. I was just waiting for that line to come out again. I don't know if it was just the way they'd set the scene up, the way they were looking at each other. It just looked like there was something there, kind of thing. And I wonder if I think this is probably the first time they'll be able to speak without anybody else around, possibly. I think when they were on Cobalt, obviously there were other people around, so there was no chance for them to actually sort of talk openly. And I wonder if there's going to be a bit of her saying, "Oh well, I was with you first. You're first in my heart." But then again, I'm not sure if she's the manipulative type, so I'm quite intrigued to find out what that conversation was.
Well, I'm not sure about
What
that
do you think
model.
about then what is the model that we saw in the theater during Final Cut? What are your thoughts there? Is she a different model in general? Because you're saying she's not manipulative, but seemingly this is planned, I guess. It depends how you want to look at it, but they all know what's going to happen, seemingly. They keep saying this.
It's also that Sharon is disconnected from the Sharons on, I guess, Galactica, because she
There's
does
only
say,
one
"Oh,
Sharon on Galactica, the other one's sitting in the morgue.
well, then there's technically two because I haven't gotten rid of her yet. Then they didn't have the
Yeah, but she's still sitting in the fucking morgue. I mean, she's...
White Sharon, and that's like White Walker Sharon.
Wait, you think
Don't get
she's
me
like...
confused here.
Yeah, like...
What if that was like the zombies?
Wrong
come back to
series,
life?
wrong channel.
Wrong series. It's a but a crossover. Anyway, she's kind of disconnected from the other one, like the ones that are, I guess, out in the world, I guess you could say. So it's hard for them to guess what, like, for her to talk about it, like with Six and Leo Bin or whatever, Dora, whatever his name is, I can't remember at this point. Like, she's like, "Oh, I'm still alive," and all of this stuff, and oh, like the kid is still there and stuff. So it's like, But I feel like if another thing happens, maybe she'll have the ability to download, unless that's like the next one to go on to Galactica, to infiltrate. Maybe, like, I know enough about this, and then if for somehow the Sharon that's alive now dies somehow, then it's like the next one up, almost, maybe, because that we've seen only two other ones, and one of them's dead, plus the ones that were all blown up the other, like, a while ago. So they need to have a replacement on deck just in case.
Yeah.
So
And Bubba says, Adamus to blame for giving love a bad name. I had to do it just a little off cadence so to not get, you know what I mean?
Well, I get us demonetized because I know the chords.
Maybe.
And
We have
I
to be
can air
gentle.
guitar 'em.
We have to be gentle. Yeah.
I would gently air guitar. I would gently air guitar some Bon Jovi.
I mean, we had the Blackbird. We talked about the christening, how it kind of ends. Are there anyone's final thoughts before we get into the Cylons?
Yeah,
Or John, is there
how the episode
anything?
released.
Is there anything they didn't bring up that you want to throw out there, John?
Ooh. A lot, but a lot of it I'll save for Monday. The one thing, the one bone I'm gonna throw into the park for people to fight over is what did you think of Tyrrell and how he reacted to what he was dealing with today?
what do you mean with building the
Yeah,
ship by himself?
yeah. What How would you react if you were in his situation? Like for me, I think it's a pretty healthy outlet. You know,
Bill?
he's not sitting and drinking like 3 bottles of wine and sitting on YouTube with people at midnight.
Yeah, he's not on in the bathroom all the time either. And John, I don't know what you're talking about sitting on YouTube with people. I don't know what kind of shot that is, but none of us have lives, so deal with it. I'm joking. And he's like, I don't know what you guys are doing, but I'm doing 14 things at one time. I've got plenty
He's
to do.
like, I'm crocheting at 5 in the fucking morning and listening to you stupid yank fuckers.
I don't think if he like that. I can
Hashtag
crochet.
yank fuckers in the chat.
I can crochet and talk at the same time. I don't actually need to look at what I'm doing with my hands.
Hashtag yank fuckers. Yank crackers.
I've been on the wine as well, so I've just finished my bottle of rosé.
I know. Why do you think we're such good friends?
Oh, well, there you go.
Bonding over
Staying up
substance
late,
abuse. Fantastic.
Boozing.
We bond over grapes and we grape over bonds.
Exactly.
It's better than bonding over cocoa leaves, so it's a good thing. Clarissa,
And on that note,
would you like to step back to studio?
Going back to John's question, I think you know, like I was saying before, this project was sort of like it was the Charlie Brown tree. You know, everybody gave it some love and made it more than it was. You know, so of course that was a needed thing. Everybody needed their focus to shift because the monotony and the drudgery of the everyday in and out, same old, was obviously bugging more people than just racetrack. You know,
And somebody needed a reason for Starbucks to quit punching them in the face, like.
But in any case, so I think that means, of course, it was a good thing.
John says,
needed.
save those fists for me, Starbuck. Clarissa, what? That's some good
I'm
thoughts.
saving it for you, Johnny.
Would you have anything else you'd like to say about the episode? Maybe what your favorite moment is, your ranking, and your Cylons.
Well, I think my favorite moment in the episode... My favorite moment in the episode was actually when Hilo pushed Tyrell off of the ship for being a douchebag. He was just fed up, and it was just like, oh, and I was like, yeah, I'd totally do that. But only because I just thought it was funny. And the fact that right afterwards he walked up and he's like, that was out of line. I'm sorry, Chief.
And Chief was like, yeah, let me grab this wrench, you bastard.
Well, eventually, yeah, after some fisticuffs. After some hot, sweaty action fisticuffs. My Cylons for this week.
Okay, we all know why this was your favorite moment, Larissa.
Well, of course you do. My Cylons for this week are Ty. Saul Ty, to be specific, not Ellen. Doc Coddle. Because I think he's lying about the prognosis. And let's throw Hot Dog in there because he was playing dead in the shooting range.
Your lips turn blue. You sweat. Your lips turn blue.
He can make his lips turn blue on command because he's a Cylon.
Who the frack started in my fracking Cylon coffee?
No, to Clarissa's point, there in my favorite episode of the first season and one of my 5 favorite episodes of the entire show, in Flesh and Bone, there's that scene where Starbuck is like, oh, he sweats. Okay. Now I know what I can do.
Oh, my rating.
Yeah.
So Clarissa's point, like when she sees that Leoben can sweat.
That's a good point too. And John, you have to work on your long pauses because you're starting to get like William Shatner here. Clarissa, I'm gonna give my rating real quick just to
I
get it out of
think
the way.
I deliver
Well,
dialogue a little better than William Shatner.
Well, I gave my Cylon, so I figure I might as well just give my rating.
oh, I'm gonna let you go for it. I was just gonna say mine are 9.5 flippity flaps, and go ahead.
Mine is 9.5. Hashtag bad call Sauls.
I love it. I love it. Sasa, since you had to
Bad Paul Sauls?
Bad call Saul.
Bad call Sauls. Okay.
yes, John, get the worms out of your ears. I don't even know if that's a
I'm gonna
saying.
write this shit down, okay?
What'd you say? I mean, I can write it down. Do you want, or I can just watch it back? Like it's logged and dated. Don't scream at me. I swear I'll yell back, and I'll love it every second of it. Get that ball
I
gag
love
and
when
put
you
it in.
yell back.
Just put your ball gag in and shut up.
I love when you yell back. It makes me feel dirty.
Sasa, your favorite moment of the episode, your ranking, and your sidelines, please. I know you're gonna predict them because that's what you do.
The favorite moment of the episode, probably when they kind of surprise Rosalind with, like a raider type thing named after her,
Laura.
to Laura. Because it's a sweet thing because it like raises her spirits because this episode she's kind of been down in the dumps a little bit. And yeah, so she gets surprised for once. The Cylons are Saltai, Gata, and what was that up there? Why not? I'll say hot dog because I haven't said him in a while. And the rating for this episode, although I saw it once, is 9. 9. Save the champagnes. I gotta save the champagnes. There's the champagne moment. Save the champagne moments.
Save
There we go.
the champagne moments. Would you like to? I guess while I'm here and before Amy goes, I'll say Bobby's ranking. She gave it 8.5. I won't make anything up for her, so she doesn't get mad at me. But she gave it an 8.5 rating, which is pretty damn good for Bobby. She says her usual 3 Cylons, John. So I guess Cammy,
Billy,
Jamie, Billy, and
Callie.
Callie. Yeah. So we got that. Amy, your final thought. Well, your favorite moment, and if any final thoughts you want to touch on, Cylons and ranking. They call me the repeater.
My favourite moment would have been Starbucks slamming racetrack into the table.
Internet high five from 5 hours away. Thank you.
It was brilliant. I wanted to see more of that scrap. It would be really, really cool.
I didn't want to see more of that scrap. I just wanted to see more head slamming into the table.
That too. Yeah.
Yeah. Internet
repeated
high five from 5 hours away.
future one.
That was fucking awesome. Past
Mom.
one for you, future one for me.
All of us on the panel had great childhoods, if you can't tell.
Oh my gosh. Wait, no, I just Steve Hawking my ass. Past one for you, future one for me. Oh shit. Oh.
Amy's just trying to keep John.
Just go on, Amy. I'm sorry.
Don't make me
Time
ball
zone
gag you.
confusion. My Cylons are staying the same. So Ellen, Tyrrell, and the fella from Caprica, whose name I keep forgetting.
Anders?
Anders.
Yes, that's the
Mr.
one.
Anders. Fun.
And my rating is 9.2. I want to say Starbuck head slams, but I've kind of just used that as my favourite moment. So
What about?
Billy cock blocks.
Ooh, that's a good one. Oh, or you could say like Starbuck underarm bacteria, something like
Or
that.
you could do like a D, like a D, like something with like the D. And I don't know. I'm medicine head. Sorry, I don't know.
No, definitely got to be the cock blocked by Billy. So
I don't know why, but hashtag brisk bush in the chat.
What are you talking
I
about?
don't know why, but hashtag brisk bush.
Johnny, what's your rating for this episode?
My rating was 9.5 flippity flaps.
Yes. Yeah, you did say that.
What's your
Oh,
rating, cockhole?
I'm gonna give it 9.25 Duala butt shots.
That's funny. I love how I
Or
can
yoga
just slip
pants.
by calling you crazy shit, and you just never hear it. Clarissa is like, "Oh my god, what did you just call him?" Hashtag what I just said in the chat. I'm not gonna repeat that.
Yeah.
But that's good.
9.25 Duala butt shots in her yoga pants, because that's pretty awesome.
Well, I mean, that's
Dude, I'm a celibate fucking monk. It doesn't mean I can't look. Okay.
it does make me feel weird now and a little bit jealous because you are mine. But with this was a fantastic episode. I had a blast on the panel. The panel was amazing. You guys really carry this channel. I love you. I love everyone in the chat. Bubba Husky, don't worry. You're getting a fart in some kind of container. It's a surprise for you because you are very special, Bubba.
Actually,
But
John's gonna fart in something. He's gonna mail it to me, and then I'm gonna fart in it.
you can't open what I farted in. You just got to send another fart. Yeah, anyways, we'll work it out. We got some jugs.
Like, have you ever
corks.
heard "Box Full of Letters" by Wilco? Well, we're gonna send
Right.
you a box full of farts.
Well, I got a couple of aged farts. I'll give you the years later, Bubba, and you let me know which year is best for you. I got an 87 and an 82, so just let me know. Also, love you guys in chat. The inaugural winner of the lunchbox, whatever the hell you want to call it. I can't repeat the words, but Catherine Harding, congratulations. Hopefully, we'll see you on Tuesday's podcast and next Friday. I think Julianne said something about she had a meeting tonight. So, adulting gets in the way sometimes, but I appreciate everyone that's out there and everyone that showed up tonight and everyone that rewatches. So let's give our fun tagline at the end if y'all like. 3, 2, and 1.
So
say we all.
all.
Hey, that's the best one ever. Why didn't I cut it off then? You heard it. See, the only one on the panel with the slow clap was John. So.